Let's try that again. And welcome to Down Under Network. This is the ANZ Team Championships 2019. It's only live and all that. We can cut that little bit out that we did before that none of you guys heard. Secret squirrel business. So we've got a couple of people, viewers already in the chat. So if you guys could let us know how the audio's going. We might actually just try and close that door. There is, unfortunately, being in Queensland, it's quite a warm environment. So we do have a situation where obviously air conditioners are running pretty much non-stop, and they're loud here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're coming through okay.
It says warm. I'm in a jumper. You're in a singlet. You can tell the Vic.
All right. So Jared from JB. Oh, sounds good. All right, that is what we like to hear. All right, so round one, we are streaming South Australia versus New Zealand. Let me just bring that up full screen for us. So you can find the pairings on downunderpairings.com. So just simply go to the ANZ Team Champs 2019. You'll see that on the homepage and a bunch of others. So you'll be able to see not just this round's pairings, but you'll be able to go through and check out other ones as well. So obviously if you want to check out how the Vics are going, because I know there's a few Vics on a stream, they haven't put their pairings in. All right, that's exciting. We'll see how they go, putting their scores in later on. Yes. So, we will be streaming Jason Collins with your beautiful sisters' army.
Half of them are beautiful.
Half of them are beautiful. The sisters are beautiful, and the marine models are.
No, yeah, it was a rush thing because good old Jason Collins had his army lost/taken.
Yeah, he left him on a bus, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, so he approached me not so long ago to go, can I get this list off you? So the list was prepped and painted probably in about 2 days.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's a pretty solid list by the looks of it.
Alright, so I've just bumped up the volume a little bit on Josh too. Fingers crossed. Okay. Yes, alright, so let's check out the list. So let's dive on in. So Jason Collins versus Ben Clarke. Jace starts with 16 command points. Ben starts with 10. We'll check out
so
Jason's list.
Starts off with, we got Lieutenantess, we got a missionary, and we got, so this is a brigade.
Yeah, I'm assuming you know what this list does.
A little bit.
Ah.
Yeah, so basically he's taken the trifecta there. He's got these 6/5 men. So this is running the one where they're basically the Kamchan ones, so +1 strength, +1 attack for all the ones with the order.
Yep.
He's gone with 3 10-man Seraphim units. So he's mixed his hand flames and infernos there. That's probably to unlock the Holy Trinity strat for 1 CP. You give him +1 to wound when you fire with a flamer, melter, and a bolt weapon.
Yep.
And then he's got the double hand flamer, which you can use the CP strat on to deep strike down and extend the range of them to 12 inches on arrival. So basically it's a shoot twice unit. Then he's got his, basically this is what the new CP battery, also the Faith battery comes in. So this is the Dialist, the Magifier, and the Preacher. So the Dialist is basically giving you a reroll to your active Faith. And then you've got your Magifier who uses the character through CP strat to bubble out a 6-inch aura of the same Faith that you activate. So basically you're getting +1 and a reroll to your active Faith. So, fight again's on 4+ with a reroll for editing within 6, so on and so forth. And then he's just taken 4 7-girl units with heavy bolters.
Yep, and then he's taken the Imperial Fists.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a spice at the end. No exos or anything like that, no melters. So I think this is what he's going to be using for most of his end tank mortal wounds stand. So that's your new captain and Phobos, which I'm guessing will take the relic from the Vigil side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's 3 or 1.
Yeah, he's taken the Siege Breaker cohort. So
yeah. 2 apothecaries, an ancient, and 5 centurions with heavy bolters. So regrosses centurions, shoots when they die, so on and so forth.
Yep. All right. And we'll jump on over to Ben Clarke's list. Now, Ben Clarke is the New Zealand Masters winner. He came over to the ANZ 40k Masters and got tooled up in round 1 against our boy on the stream, Adam Camilleri. But he was playing filthy towel. He was playing easy mode.
There's always going to be a loser.
Mate.
Doesn't matter how good you are. Someone's going to be a loser eventually.
All right, so Ben's taking Ynnari Harlequins with Craft World. So we've got a Craft World battalion with double Sky Runners, trip units of 5-man Rangers, and a Hemlock Wraith Fighter. The Ynnari detachment, we're looking at Yvrain, Eldrad, big boy Eldrad. I'm a big fan of that man. Then we've got 3 Wind Riders, 3 Wind Riders, 8 Shining Spears, and then 10 Dark Reapers, including Exarch. That is probably the last time we're ever going to see that detachment. So this event is pre-FAQ, pre-Death of Ynnari.
Rebranding. We'll call it rebranding.
Rebrand? Yeah, I'll give you that. And then we've got a Harley Outrider detachment running Shadow Seer, Death Jester, and 3 units of 2 Haywire Skyweavers.
So what do you think of the matchup?
Look, I think this game's going to be a little on tilt. So Jason Collins, his flight was delayed.
Yeah.
And so he pretty much just arrived. Pairings were already done, and it's just like, you are on this table. Yeah. There was no prep time. You're on the stream.
He's in Hurt Locker.
Oh, mate, it's gonna be a little sore, I think. My money would be on Clarke, because I think he's just going to be able to. Well, he's had them all time. I mean, he's been standing at the table, thinking through exactly what he's going to deploy, what he wants to do. We'll see how it goes. But I think on paper, I'd still would have taken the Sisters list to get up. So we're going to now see can Jason at short notice just zone it, just get in the zone and just chill.
Well, it's one of those ones where that Sisters list is running 4 up and vulnerables on all the infantry and 3 up on the Seraphim. So it keeps them covered and whatnot, which bluntens a lot of the firepower coming out of it. But there is a lot of snipers that you only have to keep, take out 1 or 2 key characters.
Yep.
And that whole strat falls apart.
For sure. All right, so let's just.
Sorry guys, I'm a little bit sick because as soon as it gets below 20 degrees in Queensland, everyone gets sick.
Mate.
So Rob says, "Sup, my dudes." So welcome everyone.
All right, so
where are you all guys coming in from? I think the reason with the, we just said in the chat there, it's like, look at the FAQ. These guys have been playing these lists for months in the lead up to. It's essentially, it'd be nicer for ETC to have this, but it's just like that's 8 people, moving forward.
I think it's also worth pointing out that lists in this kind of format, obviously, being a team environment, have to be published at a time, unlike some singles events where it's there's no publishing of the list. In addition to that, the lists were submitted. I think it was about 2 weeks prior to the FAQ dropping.
Yep.
And there was a discussion that of how close to the list submission deadline would allow the FAQ, and most of the captains were going to leave it pretty close, like a week before. Kind of thing, and would still use it, as in a week before the list was submitted. But once the list submitted, I mean, Ynnari, for example, not even just Ynnari, I mean, there's points changes, there's...
I think it's important for this year as well. It's just like, this is the pinnacle of this year.
Yep.
So all the games, all the tournaments, when we've been watching under DEP, people have been performing their results, it's like this is all pretty much the end of that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was a better way of doing about it, because also it's just streaming games. You want sharp games.
Yeah.
Guys have had to change their army 2 weeks ago to like them be on the team and all that sort of stuff, and everything's like, we want no rule debates or anything like that. The FAQ will be out, shortly.
Yep.
So it just
Yeah,
makes
FAQ's FAQ.
Yeah. But it's just like, it just makes it for a much sleeker game system, because everyone has been on it for a while and they know exactly what's going on.
Yep. Now, let me just...
So what's this GH that we're seeing on top of these buildings?
GH, I think that's these guys, Godhammer Gaming. Good lads. I hear you're part of Godhammer Gaming.
So I'm going to step out, guys. Yeah, so basically, well, this year, Adam made it in, so basically I was called to be the coach for Queensland, but when Adam ended up playing, Diff asked me to come along and hang out with you guys, but no, definitely not part of that crew. Nothing that there's anything wrong with them, it's just, I'm not.
Not part of that crew?
No. But they end up sponsoring this event.
Yep.
So.
Alright. So... I'm just going to go have a check to see what they've done with cables. Because Streamcam just dropped. So I'm just going to mute for a sec.
Yeah. I'll keep you guys entertained.
The terms of service for Twitch, we're not allowed to get our nipples out.
Okay, no nips. No nipples, apparently. Alright, so Diff is just going over. There's a bit of a malfunction, so he's going to go sort it out. We just had a cable unplugged. Probably someone stood on it. But yeah. So what do you guys think in chat? Where are we going with this game after looking at the lists and sort of gauging out? What's your thoughts? Second to that, what do you guys think about the new FAQ? Anyone really upset, or? The first list was a brigade of sisters with 6 5-man Stormbolter units. We got a Canoness, a missionary, and the Saint to lock out the HQs. We've got a Dialis, Magifier, and another Priest, so it's all the Catachan detachment. We've then got 3 units of 10 Seraphim and 3 units of 4 Heavy Bolter Retributor squads. So FAQ's good. We got Thean Gaz saying the Sisters is probably going to get up.
Yeah?
Yeah, the Elder are quite handy, so if he's almost back, he's got the Scotch tape out. Only all life problems are fixed with duct tape.
They are, mate. They are. No, basically there's a USB extension cable taped along the wall, and someone had just put a table through it.
Yeah.
Not a table, sorry, a chair through it. So...
Yeah, obviously, I play Sisters, so I'm always rooting for them. But I also play Elder as well, so it's hard. But yeah, the Sisters have got some tricks. Let's just see if Jason takes advantage of it.
Alright, that is more what I was expecting.
So this is the classic 24-inch death castle gets deployed. Everything's got a 4-up in button. He can have options, so if he spent the CP, which he has plenty of, you can add things like the Brazierian, which basically allows that Shield of Faith to cancel out powers using 2d6 instead of 1d6. And then they've also got a strat that on a 4+, they can just straight up cancel a power. So if you're getting, say a quickening off or anything like that, and you manage to get a girls within 24 of that caster, and shutting out the spears, double moving and stuff like that, or your brain's power. That can be pretty pivotal in a turn, or even protected and stuff like that.
Yep. What do you think of those sexy objective markers, though?
They are very good.
They're pretty good. It's
A lot of people are going this way, like with the neoprene stuff. It just makes it so much easier.
So each player received, and this is another shout out to both ANZ 40K, who put on the ATC, and Godhammer Gaming, who I guess sponsored it, running this year's ATC. So we have these bad boys, numbered 1 to 6. Every single player got a set, and every single player got a... Not sure how well this will show up.
And
there you go.
These are amazing.
These are solid. So obviously you've got your 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and 9. I'm assuming. Yeah, 9.
Yep.
And 9.
Yeah,
So yeah.
All the important ones.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, 9 inches away when you deep strike in, you got 2 inch being, so you got 3 inch wrap in.
Yeah. No, it's solid. And obviously the traditional tack templates that most people are familiar with, being, I think it was 6, 4, 2, 1.
Yep.
Those numbers, besides the 2 and the 1, are just numbers now. Like, they're not relevant in 40K.
Jay's asking where, very cool, he'd like to get some. Do you know?
So JB Painting, shout out to Jared. Jared's one of the members of Down Under Network. Yes, so you can go to Down Under Network Facebook page and click on the little shop icon. They're $40 a set. They're cheaper for patrons for Down Under Network. So perfect time for a bit of a plug there. If you do like what you're seeing here this weekend, or any of the stuff that we've been putting out, we're keen to put out more and more content over the year, or the remainder of this year and going forward. We're planning on getting a whole bunch of additional hosts to join us, and do more tournaments than we currently are. I'll try something with, you're not meant to try and do midstream, but just stuff around with stuff. So that is our new streaming box. It's lightweight, but it is a beat stick. And let me just get that back. That's why you don't touch stuff.
It's like an episode of Cops.
So that came in on hand luggage. So we got it designed by a good friend of the show, Jack Bowering. He built it on spec for us, and basically I said it needs to be quick, needs to be able to run Streamlabs and a bunch of other little stuff, and needs to be lightweight so as I don't have to check it.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So we're super pumped to be able to bring you this sort of stuff, and that's purely on the basis of patrons, supporting the channel, and us being able to plug a bit over $1,000 into that, and then we're going to continue bringing out better and better and better quality gear. As a bit of a shout out, I think these used to be Michael Hamilton's, and at the moment, as Josh here said, nothing can't be fixed with a bit of duct tape. Yes, so these guys look like they are going to be starting soon, or maybe they've just started. Yeah, it looks like they've just started.
Yeah. So it looks like Elder's taking the first turn.
Yep. And I have told them, and it looks like we've already seen a few CP used on Jason's side. He started with 13, I believe.
Yep.
So this is, for those unfamiliar with this mission format, because a lot of the streams that we've done on Down Under Network have been ITC format. Yep. This is an ETC format, so European Team Championships format. And so the way that works is there's three main objectives, I guess. One's Eternal War, the other one's Maelstrom. There's a kill point differential, and then there is the standard. I think they've gone with First Strike, Slay Warlord, and Linebreaker.
Yeah.
So as the games progress, I've asked them to at least update their Maelstrom points and ideally kill points. But obviously Eternal War's end of game, so that's the big swing at the end. So for those who are interested in what mission we are playing round one, that is a good question you ask. It's Frontline Warfare is the Eternal War. So that is markers numbered 1 to 4. So if I just bring up the so that one, and that one. So those 4 objectives will be worth points at the end of the game. Yeah. Objectives 5 and 6 are only relevant for Maelstrom of War points. So the ones that are in your deployment zone are worth 1 VP. The ones in your opponent deployment zone are worth 4 VP, and the ones in No Man's Land are worth 2. The deployment is Spearhead Assault, so that's like the pointy Dawn of War scenario. So I would imagine that we're looking at Objective 4 is going to be worth 2 points. Objective 1 will be worth 2 points, and then these two will be worth 1 and 4, depending on obviously who's capturing them going forward. The Maelstrom of War component, we have Contact Lost. So this is the one where you generate a tactical objective first turn, and then 1 for each objective marker under your control each turn going forward, up to a maximum of 6 cards. So that's pretty solid. And then we've got the comms uplink strats. At the start of a turn, a player with less than 6 tactical objectives cards can spend 3 command points to generate an extra card that turn. So if you are boned on objectives, and as I said, you've got less than 6, and you can pay those 3 CP to try and get another one. I think that's something you really got to wait for late game.
Well, it's also worth mentioning as well that these guys got to remove 6 attacks out of their deck.
Yeah, definitely worth pointing that one up. So though there's been a few people that are unfamiliar with some of the things that came out in the latest. Is it the latest chapter approved? I think that rule came out. So we've got. I've just gone blank on the name of it. It is. It's on their list. I never remember what it's called. The actual special rule.
Yeah.
Refined strategy is pretty much in all the Maelstrom of War objectives that came out in the last chapter approved, and ETC have adopted that for all their missions, and so ATC have also.
Yep.
So basically what happens is the start of each game, you get your deck out and you go, you know what, maybe this person's got 1 Psyker, and like I want to get rid of the one, or maybe they've only got 1 character or whatever, and so you get rid of the cards that you don't want, or that might be difficult to achieve.
Well, it refines the process too, because you go, if they've got no Psykers, you don't remove the no Psyker card. Yep. Because the player, you can't, if you can't, you just draw again. So you leave dead draws in there. Yep. As in the ones that you can't, just so you can redraw and thin your deck out.
So, I mean, another example might be, a better example of that might be a combat army that technically has some pistols.
Yeah.
They can technically kill something in the shooting phase, but it's unlikely. Yeah. So you would then, part of the refined strategy, you would discard that card.
Yeah.
Same thing, you might have a gunline army that's got little to no chance of killing something in combat, so you'd get rid of blood and guts and so on. Yeah. Which is very interesting because
I've been liking it.
Well, it really it should in theory remove some of the big ticket items of going, all right, cool, I've just gone out and overcommitted maybe, and I'm on 4 objectives in this mission, draw 4 cards, and I'm maybe I'm a combat army, and it's like, oh, I've got to shoot things. Yeah. Maybe I've got to kill a flyer, like those sorts of things. It's like, whoa, Whereas there was this one, at least it minimises some of that randomness, which is what a lot of ITC players dislike about Maelstrom, is that random factor. I think some element of random factor I think is important, because otherwise it's It puts a bit of pressure on you. You've got to. It's not just all right. I've got one game plan at the start of the game and away I go. I've actually got to think as I progress through.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I like Maelstrom. But it can have a reasonable impact. All right. So it looks like we're into our psychic phase.
So this is the Hemlock.
Yeah.
I might nip out and find out what they're doing. So this might be the movement spell coming up.
All right.
No, might just be protect. Would make sense that you buff him before you enhance.
Thank you.
We just had the
lovely Sonia.
Yeah, the
mama of ETC.
Yeah.
So for those who are long time Down Under Network watchers, you will have seen. I think her handle is ETC Mum on the Twitch chat. So yes, so Sonia's wife is helping out this weekend. Well, not just this weekend. She organised these lovely judges shirts. So with the ANZ 40k logo on that, Godhammer Gaming. I should know. I should have probably asked this before. Briz, Vegas, Comics, and of course these schmucks over at Down Under Network have been helping out. Apparently.
I think it's one of the better designed shirts and like that I've seen in a year. Like I really like the Australian, New Zealand on the skull and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like obviously this year was the first year that they changed from ATC to ANZ.
No, last year we did it.
Last year
we was the first year we brought. So last year was the first year we brought NZ back. Well, no, that's NZ weren't not there. They had stopped coming basically, and. So apparently the funding ran out for shirts and we couldn't afford sleeves. Yeah, I'll give you that. It's warm here. All right, I know this guy's in a hoodie, but he's a local. Yep. He's a local. All right.
So pretty pivotal there. So he's just got the double movement off on one of the spear units. So it was interesting to see that Jason didn't actually wrap those scents. He just left them out on the flanks, which,
Interestingly, though, I think this so he's about to charge, right? So I think it's a pretty poor placement, actually, of that move. So if I bring up the here, so he could have put like a bike here.
Oh yeah.
And then all of the rest could have gone here.
Yeah.
And so from an Overwatch perspective. Because right now he's taking Overwatch for every single one of those scents, whereas he could have limited it to one.
Yeah. And you got a mistake on the elder part, but I'm like, at the end of the day, if he kills his sense, in one fell swoop, it was pretty easy.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, but hey, if he's buffed up, he's got protect off. The sense aren't going to. You're not going to wipe that unit in. But I mean, the thing is, you could have taken zero. You could have taken zero damage on the way in, and then do your thing and come out the other end. We shall see.
I think he's worried about the Reapers maybe shooting, but there's no reason why. He's got 6 5-man units that aren't really going to do much, in this game.
So Face has said, surely the Centurions have to be bait, yeah? That seems like such a misplay by Jason. Well, look, there's a few factors. I can't see that as bait.
It's a very expensive bait.
I'm happy to be proven wrong. Jason's one of both of our mates. I mean, he's using his army. I've known Jace for a very long time. Yep. But I would put it down to he was probably rushed, and obviously this is for those that are traveling for events. Don't fly up the day of the event. Fly up the day before.
Yeah.
All right. If your flights are delayed or cancelled, or it takes ages to get your bags out.
The last 3 hours, he's been nothing but, I've got to get to the airport, I've got to get my baggage, I've got to get this, I've got to get that, call an Uber. Whereas
Yeah.
these guys have been probably up since 5, 6 in the morning, going, this is what we're prepping.
Yeah.
Have a look at the first round matchups. If I get this, if I get that.
Yeah. I don't know what time he would have had to get up this morning I think he had a 6 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
I don't know how far he is from the airport, but 6 a.m. flight. Who knows? He probably doesn't have checked luggage because he didn't have to bring an army.
Yeah.
But probably would have had to be there. I don't know, a bit after 5. I think he gets PT, public transport. So, yeah, he would have got up super early, and I think his flight got delayed to like 7:30 or 8 o'clock.
Unless it was a ploy to find his army again.
You reckon he'd
Too soon.
Too soon, mate. Jason's had some pretty bad luck.
It's been rough. But silver lining though is new models are coming out.
Yes, exactly. If he was like me, I've got my models insured.
Most definitely.
So on my for those that travel for events, it adds and you have your own home and contents insurance because of course there's quite a number of people here that probably are still living with their folks.
Yeah, dads.
But the people that are out there like myself who are under huge financial debt of a mortgage, it adds fuck all to your home and contents insurance.
Well, the same thing with all your phones, all your laptops, all that. Just travel insurance.
Yeah. And the other thing is you don't have to. So for mine, I've got my 40k collection insured if the house burns down.
Yep.
But I've only got a couple of grand insured for off premises.
Yep.
So basically, if my army gets stolen, I'll get a couple of grand back to then replace it. So
It's gear is poison these days, so it's like, the more you protect yourself, the easier it is for situations like that.
yeah,
Like even if it gets lost in your luggage from the airport, nothing you've done about it, but you go, at least you know that you're insured there and fix up later from the airport or whatever. But
all right.
yeah, I'd be surprised to see these scents live this time.
Mate. Well, the other thing is they're going to take some... possibly. He's going to get... one of the potential reasons for getting more bikes to see there was obviously he does get to shoot.
Yeah.
So... But he's not going to take out the unit
No.
with those bikes from shooting. He will do you don't want to kill him in one go anyway. You want to lock him. The interesting play though, depending on how they've decided to rule those pieces of terrain, if they're in closed buildings, for example, he might not be able to lock them because he might be able to fall back into it where because the bikes obviously can't block that side.
That wall, yeah.
That wall. So that could be an interesting little play to hug that wall and not die.
Those spear units will die. The Saint doing what she does because they lose all their invulnerable saves in combat. The Saint sitting there in the middle, right where his hand is now in that central objective. Like she can move 12 assault or 15 if you want to bow 1 CP just for her. Her going in the spears, she'll easily kill a good 4 to 5 of them.
Yep.
And then she's got the attack again strat. So
Yes, so for those in Australia that are watching this stream, a reminder, you can watch us on a phone, so when you go to vote, you don't have to stop watching. Feel free to continue watching. But yes, don't forget to vote. Don't want to get fines. Did you vote?
I did.
Yeah.
I arranged mine as a postal.
Mate, postal vote all the way.
Yeah.
I'd rather vote from my kitchen table.
Yeah, you've got kids, I've got kids, and it's just like, stuff for the days of going down there and like juggling them all and dealing with everyone handing you everything. And it's like postal vote straight up.
Although I'm disappointed I missed out on the democracy sausage.
I'll go to Bunnings.
Fair. Good job, Rob.
Yeah.
Already that's one way of pulling that one out, whipping it out. So this weekend we've got 3 official judges. 2 of them will be doing all the legwork, and I will be just chiming in every now and then to give my 2 cents.
Tell people to read their FAQ.
Yeah, pretty much. So far, every single question that's come my way, it's in the ETC FAQ. So that's good.
But it goes back to what we were saying, like, you know, this event, you've got so much stuff to think about and going on. Like, everyone's like, oh, when I'll be playing this, you know, it'd be really easy until you get here and you go, no one's really a slouch. And then you go, you know, you go on, if you've never played an ATC before, you go, oh, look, you know, my teammates are relying on me, you know, every decision's compounded that much more. Because of it, because you're not just playing for yourself, you know, you're playing for your team as well, and you want to try and get as many points as you possibly can. So, you know, little things like, you know, a misdeployed unit and stuff like that happens.
Well, it's also worth pointing out. I mean, we've talked a little bit about the pressure of some of this event. Being a team event, you never want to let your teammates down. No. And I did post on the Facebook page, hey, we're going live shortly, and then there's a bit of a delay, and I had to post saying there's going to be a delay. The event's running a little behind because the judges and the captains had to all get together because one of the players from New South Wales grabbed the wrong case as he left the house, and instead of bringing his demons list, he brought a Death Watch list. Or Death Watch army. And that just won't fly. So day 1, there's effectively going to be a battle point penalty for Team New South Wales. We've decided it's going to be 60 battle points to the overall score. And he is proxying his demon army using Death Watch models.
To the point where he has to keep stuff in reserve.
Because he doesn't have enough models. So, because basically his list consisted of a large number of plague bearers. And so what he needs, what he basically needs to do, he needs to pay CP to hold some of those plague bearers in reserve. To wait until some of his other plague bearers have died. So he's got models to then use.
So if you're a opponent, just don't kill any plague bearers
for the
until
first
turn
2
3. So then you can bring them on.
Mate, that's a pro strat. Which is better than the alternative, because the alternative was basically So one of the options that was put forward to the captains, and everyone said it was a bit harsh, was he got to play as his list, but the score was a 20 zip to his opponent's favour anyway. So basically it was a bye for the other team, but at least he gets to play some games, which was the mindset there, which would have made pairings ridiculous for day 1 for people in that pool. So
like we'll get it fixed for him and stuff like that. Like some of the local boys are going to scrounge some models together and whatnot, but we just couldn't do it for round 1 because we're looking at like a 2 hour.
And also so the player Hayden Waldark has pretty much said he could probably field the list, but it's a 2 hour round trip from here to his house, and his models are in boxes in storage.
Yeah, he's only just moved out.
Because he just moved house. So we will see how he goes, but fingers crossed he'll be able to borrow an army for tomorrow.
Now, obviously you're super organised because you do all your stream and stuff. Like,
even I have issues.
Yeah, but I'm like, you know, it'd be interesting to see from the chat as well. Is there any sort of rituals you do, like going to events or anything like that?
100%. So every single event I go to the night before, I get my entire army out, I put it on a tray, I make sure it's all there, I get my army list.
Check your list.
Check my list. Yep. I go through it, double check, triple check, all my models are there, then pack them all up. As soon as I pack them up, I put that case in my car.
Yeah.
So it's not a next day grab the wrong case.
Yeah.
Or even just forget something. I always double check. I got my dice.
I leave my
tape
wallet.
measure. On it.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm not going to go anywhere without my wallet.
Yeah.
But yeah, just little things. Oh, yeah.
Mate, it was brutal. It was brutal.
And like I said, like he's just thinking. Like, the sad thing is, it's like it's not even about himself.
It's a mistake, mate.
And he's like, on my team because he knows that unfortunately, this is a serious pointy end of Warhammer. But like these do imply penalties. So he just knew that basically no matter what happened, he's going to cost his team.
Yeah. Well, New South Wales have sent a pretty strong team this year.
Yeah.
They were definitely in contention. And this battle point penalty. So for those that aren't as familiar with the scoring system, so each game there are 20 points up for grabs. 10 points is a draw, and then for every 2 victory points or part thereof, you score more than your opponent. You get an additional point, and they lose one. So if Josh and I are playing and he beats me by 6 victory points, then that's 3 battle points above a draw, so that would be a 13, and that's 3 less than draw for me, so 13-7. Your total, our scores would always add up to 20.
Yep.
So there is 8 games, so that is 160 points. Yes, it's early. I haven't even got through my Red Bull yet. There's 160 points up for grabs for a team, and between 70. Let me just confirm. Between 75 and 85 points for a team as a draw.
Yeah.
So you got to score 86 battle points to get yourself a win for your team.
Yeah.
If your team wins, you get 2 round points. If you draw, you get 1. If you lose, you get 0. So first of all, the teams are sorted by their win-loss and then their battle points.
Yeah.
So the 60-point penalty that New South Wales have got won't affect their individual rounds. So hypothetically, they won all their 5 rounds, and they were the only team to do it. They'd win the event regardless of that battle point penalty. But if they end up on, say, 3 wins, 2 losses, someone else ends up on 3 wins, 2 losses, their tiebreakers then on battle points.
Yeah.
That's when this penalty is going to come into play. And being a 8-team, 5-round event, we will have a lot of teams. Well, I say a lot of teams, not that many teams, but we'll have a number of teams that are on the same number of wins and losses.
Yep.
So the battle point penalty will 100% have an impact.
It will affect, yeah.
And it had to. I mean, otherwise it's not a penalty.
Yeah. Next year, everyone just brings random stuff to see what they can do.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
joking.
It's like, I couldn't...
It was a genuine mistake, and we do feel for him. But
well, he has the army.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's no secret on who it is because you can just look who's the Demon player for New South Wales. Yeah. It's Josh Brodie. He's been playing Demons quite a lot, but he's got a couple of armies. Yeah. So, a mistake's a mistake. He probably won't do that again. He'll now have a ritual that he'll go through.
Exactly. Dice trays and stuff, I'm in a mixed bag about it. It's like one of those things, as long as you work out with your opponent beforehand what constitutes a cock dice and what doesn't.
Yep.
Usually, I find it faster and easier if you just roll the dice. Like, I'm not going to sit there and go, Josh, take 2 wounds. I've got to clear my dice out of the dice box for him to roll 2 dice in it.
Yeah.
It's just
I think the dice box is more relevant for. There's a couple of points where a dice box would be handy. So we've purchased a dice box from Knights of the Game Table. Knights of the Game Table? Why did I say Knights of the Game Table? Knights of Dice. Anyway, Knights of Dice. Yeah. Anyway. From Knights of Dice from Victoria. They've got a really cool dice box. Purchased one of those, and we're going to get another camera and put that above the dice box for important rolls, for people to put like what Maelstrom cards they scored, things that we can get really close-up views of to see.
I think the streaming would work out well, but like when you look at 64-odd players supplying that as well, because it's also comes down to cost.
Yep.
I don't know how many people know the type of money that goes into tables, terrain, mats, Jeffrey
How much do you reckon this table would have cost? So obviously with the board, it's probably just an MDF board. It's probably what, $20 per table?
Yeah, most MDF boards about $20 for a 6x4.
Yep. And then we've got some G-Dub craters.
That's
so a set of those.
$60 set, I think.
Yep. So there's $80 right there for one table. Then we've got some terrain. The thing is, when you are doing...
This one was actually supplied by CanCon.
Really? Oh, is this the ITC terrain? Yep. So Godhammer Gaming won some terrain at CanCon.
Yep.
So this would be Frontline Gaming Australia. Will have supplied the terrain for CanCon subsequently.
When I say supplied, this
I know what you mean.
table is made from winnings.
The mat as well?
I'm not sure.
I think they won a Matt, didn't they?
Probably.
Yeah, they won a lot. The Godhammer
That's
Gaming
the good
guys
thing
won a
about being
lot.
club. You can just pool your resources. But
But I mean,
regardless, I think each of these buildings are about 45 to 50 retail, I think, for the MDF packs.
benefits of the internet.
Because
Because I mean, it is worth pointing out, like, just how much money goes into these events. So if we look at some of these IT terrain series, so that'll be, I think there's a set they do.
yeah.
They've got some really cool terrain.
Yeah,
Really
they're
cool
all
terrain.
themed ones as well. Mechanicus and Necrons, Orcs. Those Orcs ones are good.
All right, so I think.
Yeah, so about anywhere from 35 to 50, depending
Per
on
building.
size.
Yeah.
Per building.
Now you can buy sets. I'm just not. I'm struggling to find.
It'll be a discount of like $10 or $15 if
Yeah.
you over the cost of 3 buildings.
Yeah, those buildings. I think those ones there
The
are
smaller
about
ones?
$30 a pop.
Yep, and then
And the larger ones are a bit more. Yeah. Which
So you got about $300 worth of buildings and terrain, plus the mat.
yeah, $400 a table like would be relatively
Not
solid.
including the
And then
trestles.
think about which normally you can get from the venue, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, if you look at that across the amount of tables, not one gaming group can really afford to manage that.
Yeah.
And also
The
think
tubs.
about storage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, put it in perspective. I've got 27 tables myself that I run events with, and that's near on $8,000. By the time you build it, you paint it, you buy the materials to build it. As in, not just that, it's like, how much does a jigsaw cost you? Like, I got mine for $20 because you need to cut your MDF up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm spending $400 in scenery and I don't have that money.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I've got a very lovely wife that is quite happy for having our external laundry bombarded. I
Is she
said
actually
lovely.
happy?
No, I said lovely wife.
But you said she was happy to allow it. Like, is
Oh,
she
no,
really?
she's not happy. They're too heavy for her to lift. No, but it's just like, the amount of space I've got, 2 garden sheds filled, all that sort of stuff. Plus
Mate,
my
we're both
laundry.
batting above our weight.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
Punching above our weight. Batting out of our league. Just mixed metaphors. Yeah.
I actually got a photo of her last night. She was helping me with the sisters. It's pretty rare that you find a wife that's willing to paint war dollies with you.
Mate, so the very first time I took Screamer Council with, I think I had Seekers in my list as well, back in, would have been 6th ed, I think. All the gold work on my Seekers,
Yeah.
basically it was just my wife just there going, painting gold work.
Yeah.
All my Chaos bikes, all the gold trimmings. Yeah.
You left her with all the trim.
So,
Such a nice husband.
mate, she's got OCD, and believe it or not, those are the bits that she enjoys doing.
That's right. As long as she's getting something out of it.
Mate.
Can you do all my non-metallics for me, please, love?
And OSL, can you get some OSL
Yeah.
done?
Not good enough. Do it again. No.
Mate,
Right,
she's
so
better
the-
painter than I am.
Yeah. So obviously the spear's matted in. So we're looking probably at a third of the list just imploded then through the shooting phase.
Mate,
So I don't see any characters going down, but if I was having to guess, I might go and look for a closer look to see what actually went out then. But I'd say it'd be the heavy bolters with range. But I'll be back. But we'll get a clear
coffee guts
idea.
out. All right. So we'll be joined round 2 by Mike Bass, from Objective Secured, who will be joining us via Discord, which is awesome to have because, as I said, we're streaming WA versus Vic. So me being the Vic ANZ 40k rep, Basque being the WA ANZ 40k rep. Josh McGowan can maybe be the judge between the two of us and keep us on point, keep us unbiased. We'll see how we go. But if Adam Camilleri gets on the stream, I'm actually undecided on whether or not I'll be just trolling the hell out of him. I mean, he's playing fish cows Tao, for God's sake. He's really scraping the bottom of the barrel for. No, I'm kidding. Tao's all right. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. No. Yes. So we've got a number of last-minute changes that happened for the ATC. The main one, though, was one of the ACT players from Canberra dropped out for work-related stuff, and so they needed a fill-in last minute, and they got Matt number 3 Morrisoli. How's it looking?
Great. If you like Elder. No.
Not seeing too many cents left there, mate.
No, so the sense... Okay, so basically, in your shooting phase, double shot Reapers, he's deleted 9 of the Seraphim and the 10-man, so he can either use an active fate to auto or cost him 2 CP.
Yep.
The Sens are pretty much going to be wiped out, so he double shot with the Reapers. The Canoness, which gives everything the +1 inbun, is gone, so she went down in the shooting phase as well.
From who?
The Snipers.
The range. That's pretty solid. I mean,
she has a 4-up inbun, but it's the mortal wounds, you know.
Yeah, but it's still, what, 15? It's only 15 sniper shots?
Yep.
Oh, it is what it is.
Yeah, so basically they shot in, the spears up the top there just killed a character, so they're going to soul burst and fight again.
Ouch.
So that's going to basically see those 3 characters, which was the Banner, the 2 Apothecaries, and the Scent unit gone this turn. So
is there anything left to wrap if he does that, though?
I don't think he needs to.
At this point,
the
he's
only
that
thing
far
on
in.
board,
Yeah.
like, he's still got another unit. Like, down the bottom there, that's his bikes. He's got the Harlequins, the Shooting Reapers.
It is worth pointing out that the ATC missions have acceptable casualties special rules.
Yep.
So you don't auto win on tabling.
No.
So
you play out your remainder turns.
Yeah. So you play, you play out your remainder turns, but also B, this is the very first ATC in the history of ATC, which has been running since 2011, where tabling your opponent doesn't get you an auto 20.
Yep.
So historically, it's like, oh, I don't give a rat's, I lose the Shining Spears now, whatever. I'm going to table you. But, I mean, he's still in a very good position, obviously, because Jace hasn't even had his turn 1 yet.
No.
And he's just been heavily, heavily depleted. But the thing is, he can now turn around and take out those Shining Spears, maybe get a few Maelstrom cards. Who knows? We'll see how he goes.
I think Jace lost near on 900 points then.
Yeah, he's boned. That's a bold move, Carton.
So, what's the sentence? 60... There's 70 points each, or 60?
Let's
We're
bring up his
right?
list.
I'm pretty sure that's near on a 500 point unit. Oh, sorry, a 400 point unit. The 2 Apothecaries are 55 each.
Alright, let's just chop that back on. So the Sense are 350. The 2 Apothecaries 55
Yeah, 642 for that entire
Yeah.
detachment. I know he's got his captain left, but it was just like, the captain by himself ain't going to do much.
No.
He's primarily there to assist the Sense shooting. Losing the Canoness, which now downs his invulnerable saves. He's lost heavy voltage galore.
Yeah.
He's still got 2 units of Seraphim in reserve. But, like I said, he's just got to bring them down now.
Yeah.
He's got enough in his list that Reaper, like the Reaper unit's going to die, will be very much mutilated to the point where they're not really useful.
So you go, 1 Maelstrom point, 5 kill points,
Yeah.
and first strike,
Yeah.
which is why he's up at the 7. 7 points there, those playing at home. And he's down with 6 command points left. It is good to see players actually filling out their scores as they go.
But that's what you expect from, the prestige event of 40k, isn't it?
You would hope so. On Down Under Pairings, as I said, you'll be able to follow all the games, see all the lists, and all that jazz, and make sure you get on over to, just to get involved, see what's going on. If you do have obviously, if you're from Australia or New Zealand, hopefully one of your teams is doing well, but you'll be able to follow that. We've also got a Dream Team competition going on, which is active until the end of the first round. So let me just bring that back up for a sec. So basically the way that works is players can pick their own team. So if I come in and have a look at... actually, no, I think it is locked in now. Apologies. So I've picked Eric Lathuris, Ben Warrior, and Ben Warrior from Team Queensland with Nids and Death Guard. I've picked Hayden Korach and Ben Clarke from New Zealand. Hayden with his demons, Ben on stream right now. So Ben's going to do great for me. Dream Team points already. And for Queensland, I also have Hayden Waldock. Vic, I've got Martino and Hamilton. And New South Wales, I've got the Dark Horse, David Teo, previous back-to-back Australian Masters winner.
Yeah.
And then had a hiatus.
If you want to check his
on.
list out, have a look at it, because it's one of those weird ones where you just like a lot of stuff's going on in there.
Alright, so the Demon Army has, we've got one showing up, so I'm going to go...
You do your thing.
Do my thing, and we're going to work out what the hell's going on with that, and potentially change penalties to be less than they were.
Yeah. I'll probably just commentate. Do my thing. Alright, so no time wasted. Jason's straight into his movement phase, so obviously he's moving a large chunk of his armies. So there's a few strats that he can take advantage of. So there's a Stormbolter strat where you can turn them into -2 for 2 damage shots. So all those little 5-man sister units have 3 of them in the unit. So it is worthwhile. Yeah, so like I said, not wrapping the sense. It's it's one of those things where you go, maybe he thought he was safe, maybe he was, gauging on being able to stop a psychic power, but no, hence why Yanari's changed, I think. But it'd be interesting to see what he does with the Saint now. Because the Saint's the only one that's actually bolstering his invulnerable save, which is going to help him out versus the Reapers. So him shifting his entire army to the back there, I'd probably expect that she's going to go up there anyway. And those forward units, he might be looking to just push them into the building, get out of line of sight. But he's still got to worry about that Hamlock flying and sniping off other characters, because that's what flyers are notorious for doing. Is there anything you guys in the chat want to particularly talk about, or want to know about the event in question? Almost fell off my chair. How many actual sister players are out there? Have we got any in the stream watching this one? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Diffie's in a singlet and I'm here in a bloody jumper. He's loving it. He's probably going to go to the beach later on. In saying that though, we've got enough bodies in this hall that it'll heat up. It's probably because I don't have all the nice drawings on my arms. A little bit intimidated by Diffie's gun show that I just keep my shirt on. So it looks like we're into the, I think that was an act of faith roll in the for the shooting phase, or maybe it was an advanced roll. I'm not sure. Yeah, getting max points is going to be hard. Like, sisters are pretty good at taking a punch. It's just one of those things where you got to really protect those characters. Anything with sort of sniper, I find 8th Ed's becoming very eccentric in regards to having all these really good utility characters. That's why assassins are becoming pretty key in most Imperial Soup lists. Thanks, Kiwi with the 2 wings, for following. Welcome. Yeah, so when assassins are dropping in, everyone's taking Vindicares or Eversaws or Collectuses and stuff like that, or even Calidus to come in and snipe out these utility characters are very key elements of the list. You find that they start, really, really falling behind. It's sort of like old Death Stars. You got really good units with characters very much designed in close proximity and support of each other. So he's done an amazing job by taking out that Cannoness, which we were talking about at the start of the game. If that sort of happens, it's one of the key priorities that he's got to make happen. I don't know. It's one of those things where these spears, because they are buffed up, you can see the 2 cards sitting next to them right now. It's going to be hard to remove, because it looks like the Saint did move up. She's up right at the top in the centre there. She will make short work, but he's got to try and get him down to, 3 to 4 models, and she'll wipe the unit. And unfortunately, with her movement there, without popping the movement strat, if he removes it down to that last 1 or 2 models there, it's going to be like an 8-inch charge. So what do you guys think of the new chapter Prove? Any sort of big standouts for you with your armies? Like, what do you guys play? What did you like? What didn't you like? How did it affect you individually? What about the fly rule being basically reinstated? Yeah, so now we got Mr. Murphy. Yeah, I think the fly going back was a good move. I didn't really like how it done, even though I don't currently play too many armies with the fly keyword. I think reinstating it was something that was nice. I think it was very much a knee-jerk reaction from an American tournament when a rules designer saw what a Smash Captain can do on a horizontal charge from the top of the building. I think if you're going to try and fix a rule, fix it properly rather than, the day, and then reinforce it through like isolated incidents.
For those playing at home, Josh Brody's penalty will be reduced from 60 battle point penalty to just 20.
Oh, good.
There's 20 battle point per round.
It's enough to sting, but not enough to put him out.
Yeah. Also, it only affected round 1. So, and look, that's no one wants to win that way.
So if they want to get the advancement and 2 points for the Brahmin as a team, they're going to have to revert back to 106 battle points.
No. So the 20 battle points doesn't affect the round.
Okay.
It just affects their overall score.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So the way we've ruled penalties, with the exception of in-game penalties.
Yep.
Okay. Will affect countbacks because basically if you've got if you got some penalties that only affect round 1, then whoever got to play against them just get an advantage that no one else got, and they didn't necessarily earn that win per se. The bar's open, so you should actually, interestingly enough, already everyone's moving. Yeah. Everyone's just like, yeah, all right, cool, I'm about to head to the bar. A few people just mid-game.
I really want to go to the bar, but I really need to play my turn.
So that is a good question, though, that should have just come through the chat, which didn't, and you're un-Australian, a lot of you, is does the chess clock stop for bar time? The answer is no. No, we are very sporting people here in Australia. On the most part, whoever's turn it is, the other person will go to the bar and bring drinks, and we trust that the opponent is not going to do something dodgy.
It's one of those things where you go, if you got to look over your shoulder every time.
Got a copper looking at me, he's like, I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust him.
I've seen things. Done things, man. Yeah, the Necrons. Yeah, we were having a discussion about that. Guard and stuff, there was nothing. I play guard, obviously. There's not a lot of stuff, and I've been talking to a few of the other guys who play guard. I'm like, we're doing really good this FAQ, and they're like, oh, what have you noticed? What have you seen? I'm like, nothing. Nothing's changed. Everyone else has been pegged down a little bit, which is good.
Look, I think
it's a better way to do it.
I don't think everyone has. I think Chaos have pretty much come out relatively unscathed.
Same, yep.
Knights got a bit of a punch-up, but not huge. Huge. You're not going to see the same list. I think you're going to see a reduction in Castellans, but not big enough that they're not going to be there.
I'm on two fence about it. I've always maintained and going, it comes down to the individuals going, now if they're going to go, I used to run a Castellan and everyone's like, oh good, they're 100 points cheaper, people will take them out of their list. You go, what's the alternative? It's like a Crusader's not a Castellan.
Also, it's also worth pointing out that those some of those lists with Castellans in them, not like the full night list, but I'm talking about where they've just put a Castellan.
Guard.
Yeah, they've taken guard with a Castellan. You can trim 100 points. Yeah.
One less shield captain.
Mate, I've said that there are plenty of games where you could literally not have deployed the guard.
Yeah.
There's a number of games I've seen, both on stream and whatnot, where you go, all right, the guard component could have just been screens. The rest of it didn't matter. You spent points. You'll see people, they won't have maybe a mortar team, maybe they'll drop a mortar team, they'll drop a couple of,
They'll go down the Hellhounds to make Rough Riders.
How much do you need of Bullgrins?
I run mine at 8, and that's usually 350-ish and change.
Okay,
they're 42 points each.
So you could drop one Bullgrin. Technically you could drop 2 Bullgrins and some change. But I reckon if you just drop one Bullgrin and then trim a little bit from here and there, there's 100 points really quick. Now, is it as efficient or as solid as what it was before? Well, no, of course, because you get 100 points more. But has it gone down that bad? No.
Well, also the knee-jerk reaction, everyone's like, surely people aren't going to bring them, so I'll stop preparing for them. And
which makes them stronger.
You drop a castle on the board, and they're like, oh, okay.
Wasn't expecting
I just
that.
took out 4 las cannons because I didn't think I needed any more. Hypothetically. Because we know las cannons don't do anything against them.
Hi, Fire Drake. How you doing?
Alright, so for you guys that are just sort of coming in now, so we've had first turn that went to Yanari.
Yeah.
It was a massive turn. It was well over 800 points. Went down, which was a big scent unit, which is the little green dude. That's the captain left of that cohort. 2 units of Retributors, and a couple of characters and stuff like that. So it was a massive, massive turn.
Yeah.
Where basically the elder player got every psychic power off, every soul burst action, and it just led to basically the list being gutted. The key thing that really hurt the most, because going through the chat, you probably noticed it was a bit of a nothing was really wrapped. We know you always wrap your tools in your list. So it's a case of when you sort of put them out there with your Nari being able to be as fast as what they are, you're going to get punched. So, but the big key loss to the Sisters from that point was actually losing the Canonus, because that stops his army from having a 4-up inbun. because right now it's just the Saint and them getting 5 up in months now.
And here's the thing. I mean, the deployment for Jace was actually pretty good. I mean, arguably, I would have preferred, if I was Jace, I would have preferred the other side. But you could still have hidden the Canonist, could have been here.
Yep.
And then, how big are the units and sisters?
5 mans.
Oh, they're all 5 mans.
Put them in the buildings. Put them on top.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I mean, because he's deployed in the triangle.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, he could have just deployed heavier over here.
There was no utilisation of any sort of area terrain. Like you can see up the top right there between those 2 buildings and whatnot. Your objective 3, 5 and all that. I don't know who placed that objective 3, whether it was Collins or forgotten his name, sorry.
Ben.
You know, but placing in these objectives in the centre there. So we got 2, 4 and 5 in area terrain, which is good because you can be in area terrain to score it.
Yep.
But the 1 and the 6 looks very good because of the fact that it's in the open, 3's in the open, and so is the one underneath the wave serpent.
Which is number 2.
Yeah, and a list like Ben's where, you know, if you're in the open, it's got a lot of AP firepower coming at you. Like that's exactly where you want someone to try and go to hold an objective.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I feel as though Jace has misdeployed but on a number of points.
But there was always a possibility that, you know, Ben didn't take it first turn, or he failed the movement spell. Like, you know, these aren't easy spells to cast.
Yeah, but even if you take that out of the equation, even if you just go, all right, because the Canonist was a pretty big hit to the game.
Yeah.
All right, so if he didn't have turn 1, all right, then and the Canonist was in the center of the bubble, and turn 1 he just takes her out with snipers.
Yeah.
Then you effectively didn't have the Canonist turn 1.
Yeah.
All right, so he should have deployed the Canonist behind a wall, and then if he didn't have turn 1, sure, some of those wouldn't be in bubble range, but they clearly weren't in bubble range anyway because she was sniped out first. So and then turn 1 you can move an advancer in back to the bubble and focus on taking out those snipers, take out the rest. Interestingly enough, though, there are a number of buff characters in here that those 15 snipers, it's not a massive hit, but you want to get rid of them. Yeah. And so I mean you do have to actually focus on them a little bit, which makes it difficult when you also need to focus on the plane and the Reapers. And
but hey, enjoy this game because it's the last time you'll see Yanari working this way with the units that they're doing it.
Yeah, it is pre-nerf Yanari, mate.
Yeah, George. This is the entire event's all pre-FAQ. We were just saw the game that it was best decided that these guys have been playing all year, prepping for this event, run, the meta as what it was, standing pre-FAQ.
Yep. And remember, you can find the lists and whatnot for this stream game and all stream games and the rest of the games at this event over on downunderpairings.com. But if you click on that link that I've just put in the chat, you'll be able to take straight to this game. It'll show you the list, it'll show you all that jazz. But I think this game is pretty much just in wrap-up mode for Ben.
We're not even through Jason's turn yet.
Nah.
So.
I mean, it looks to me like that top corner, top right-hand corner, we've gotten rid of a lot of those units.
The Saint did go and kill 2 or 3.
Yep.
So.
But I think it's too little
attacks.
too late.
Yeah,
it's too little
6
too
attacks,
late.
hits on 2s, wounds on 3s, and flat 2 damage with enough neg AP that he doesn't get a save, or he might have because he buffed him.
Yep.
But it'd be only an armor save up, like a 6 up or a 5 up maybe. Yeah, that could very well be the case, George.
100%. So it was. Adam Napier, who's the SA South Australian team captain, basically with Jason running late. And there a potential that he wasn't going to get here in time. I think the decision made was going to be, but he got here close enough that it didn't come into play.
Yeah.
It was basically going to be clock starts on him until he gets here.
Yep.
So it was just going to be there was potentially a really shitty scenario for a captain to be like, well, I can't protect this list. I can't give it a good matchup because there's a good chance Jace's going to get
Hey,
hit.
if you
and
pull
not
out
have
a Yanari player or someone who's basically going to cop a round loss for showing up late anyway, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
It was the right call by the captain.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was meant to be as much of a pushover of what it is. Like we said, never utilise buildings, never utilise actual cover. Sisters with 2 up, 4 ups, in sitting in area terrain is pretty formidable. Not to mention their active faith can stop them from running, but they're all little 5-man squads anyway, so morale in this game isn't really a thing. But yeah, definitely hiding those characters behind those buildings would have been pretty pivotal. Because like you said, you don't mind losing a 51.3 Stormbolter unit compared to losing a character. Alright, so straight into it. So it looks like there wasn't opted to save the spears, so just let it happen. Now the Harlequins, and these Harlequin, have they got Zephyr Glaives on
the Harley list?
on the Haywire? 2-star boluses.
Yep.
Yep. But still, they're pumping out 2d6 strength 4 -1 shots. So, Haywire versus infantry, it does actually have a second profile. People don't know. It's not just good at ganking vehicles. It's actually pretty good at doing that. But, they hit like a truck, especially against 5-man units and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that is the other thing. I mean, we're talking about fairly small squads. So Ben should be able to rack up some kill points pretty quick.
Talking about how we can get rid of the cannoneer so quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 15 ranges plus a curtain fall Death Chester. Yeah, that'll kill 5 wins pretty quick.
So you hide it.
It's like first question you got your opponent. You got what's your indirect and what's your sniper capabilities. If I'm running a list centered around characters like this, or even Plague Bearers, you go, yeah, cool. It's awesome amount to kill Plague Bearers, but killing the characters, it's like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So take out the bile paper, all that sort of stuff. So the more questions you guys ask throughout pre-game, stop stuff like that happening.
Is Jason filling in, or did he move to South Australia? So the team selection process, basically you have to have, and I can guarantee you this is going to change come next year, but at the moment 4 players have to either be a resident or have played 3 events in that state to qualify to play for it, and then the other 4 can be from wherever you want. The mindset behind that is some states have a smaller scene. Some states travel might be a bigger deal than others.
Well, you look at New Zealand, you look at Western Australia.
Prime example, New Zealand last year was the first year back since 2013, and it was being held in Perth.
Yeah.
Literally the furthest place it could have been, and they're like, no, we're coming back. Yeah. And so they, I think, ended up having 3 Perth boys on their team.
Yep.
Because just getting 8 over there was difficult. What will it be changed to? That is a good question. So it's not my call. I just know that the decision's has been thrown out that what's happened this year isn't the intent. I believe we'll see a couple of things happen. That we'll probably see a larger majority of the players have to be residents.
Yep.
So we might have a situation where 4 players, or maybe even more, maybe 5 or 6 players have to be an actual resident of that state. And then subsequent players, there are no restrictions. So if you want to have some mercs play, you can. But I think, because right now we have South Australia, who would meet that criteria anyway, by the way. But South Australia have, I think, 7 SA lads and 1 New South Wales boy. ACT, I don't know how many of their lads are actually ACT.
I think 4.
Sorry?
I think 4.
I don't think 4.
Don't think 4? No,
Nah.
I just went in
There's a number. So their captain is a New South Wales lad.
Yeah.
But has played a lot of events there.
Yep.
I'll bring up the team because they're the team that probably have the largest number of.
Apparently, Matt was saying 4.
Let's. ACT.
Like at the end of the day, we want
Alex
to be.
Rimmel's from New South Wales.
Yep.
Matt Morrisoli, who came in last minute, is from Vic. Josh McMillan is New South Wales. Richard Hill, I believe,
He's from
is
Legion.
New South Wales. Doug Crawford's New South Wales. That's 5 already. They're not from Canberra. Kieran Howard's from New South Wales. That's 6. Michael Duke.
Did you pull up the New South Wales team by mistake?
Sorry? No. 100%. I'm not sure. He may also, he's Legion as well. And Jonathan Scully. Jonathan Scully, I think, might be a Canberra lad. So we're talking maybe 2 or 3 lads are actually from Canberra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is sort of in the middle. Like Canberra, it's like, what is it, an hour and a half to Sydney and
Canberra,
stuff like
Canberra was actually the specific reason that this rule was originally implemented.
Yeah.
Because Canberra doesn't have a large player base themselves, but a lot of New South Wales lads, especially some of the country New South Wales lads,
Orange and...
from Orange and whatnot, play more in ACT than they do in Sydney, for example. So there's reasoning behind it, but I think it just needs to be revisited.
Yeah.
And there'll be a vote. Because at the moment, what it comes down to is we've got 2 Merc teams.
Yeah.
We have, which isn't the intent.
Yeah, we did this for something, because it was Michael who basically kicked all this off years and years and years ago.
Yep, Michael Cruz.
Basically, it's, they wanted to do this to go, this will boost the numbers to events, we'll start getting more interstate travel, we start having this camaraderie, it'll shape us up better for the ETC, sending an Australian team across, because basically you go, how do you pick an ETC across, like, all our states?
Yep.
Same thing, there's talent in Western Australia, there's talent everywhere.
Fire Drake, he's playing for ACT. And maybe you can confirm, is he an actual ACT lad? Fire Drake knows him, so we'll find out. Because he's the only one that I'm actually unsure. I think the rest are all New South Wales or Vic.
Yeah. But that's just it. Like when I lived in Canberra, it was like I saw more New South Wales guys than what I did Canberra.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But hey, I'd rather see the event grow than shrink.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked both last year and this year. We've been trying real hard to build some relationships with some of the Malaysian.
I was going to ask you about that. I heard a rumour.
Yeah, well, we were very close last year to getting a couple of their players to come over for the Merc team.
Yeah.
It just fell through. We're really hoping this year would be easier because obviously being Queensland, the pointy end of the country, may have been easier to get flights. May have been.
Yeah.
But we're going to continue. We're going to continue working on that to try and get them over here.
Yeah.
I think the reality is, if we're serious about it, we're going to have to send a couple of Aussie lads,
Yep.
or lasses, ladettes,
Yep.
from Oz, head over there as a bit of a contingent,
Yep.
maybe 4 or 5 players, try and build some relationships. That's what I was doing through 2011.
Players.
Yes, it have to be the right people.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean anyone can go, but obviously, I mean to achieve the desired result, you'd have to pick people, because some Aussies, well, not just some Aussies, some players, full stop, might be.
Banter is apparently frowned on in most parts of the world. People just can't take a joke.
Mate, fuck them.
How does it go over in ETC?
ETC,
because you've done a
great.
couple of
Yeah,
tours,
so I've done. I've played in 3 of the 4 teams that we've sent, and I'm coaching this year.
Yeah. What's the Scots like?
The what?
The Scots.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
They're good. Seriously, I would say more than half the teams, they are serious business on the table, but as soon as you're off the table, everyone is hanging out together.
Yeah.
There's very little of this. I mean, some of the teams are serious business off the table as well.
Yeah.
And so you won't see them on the Thursday night, Friday night, or Saturday night. But the thing is, ETC, most people get in on the Monday.
Yeah.
And they leave on the Monday or later.
Yeah.
All right, so Sunday night's a big one. and there's a whole bunch of big nights around the singles events, and so you do get to meet a lot of people, and it's absolutely awesome. I've got some lifelong mates that that we talk to quite regularly, that I've met through ETC.
Because you guys jersey swap and everything, don't you?
Yep. And actually, we're doing this is the first ETC team we're ever going to send that before ETC, the whole team is actually going to be in the same place.
Nice.
So the whole team is here this year. We almost didn't have Morrisoli, but he merked up and got on the ACT team. And so we'll be going, there's a big team dinner for all teams for ATC that's going on tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll also look at just getting together, having a chat, that kind of stuff. And I thought it was only fitting. I went through my cupboards, found my mothball. No, it isn't mothball, but found my very first Australian ETC team shirt, which is a little snug. I'm not quite as slender as I used to be. Yeah.
Just shows off your curves better.
Mate. All right, so things are disappearing.
Yeah, the slaughter continues.
So let me just. Yeah, so we're at the bottom end of turn 2.
Yep. I might just go up and have a look-see.
Yeah, go for it. All right, yeah, so this game I think is going to... there's not too many sisters units left. I think we're going to be realistically wrapping this one up fairly early. And to put it in context, there is an hour and a half left in the round. Jace can't hold on for an hour and a half. It ain't going to happen. So what we'll probably end up doing is, once this game's over, we will probably switch to a Facebook live stream because it's just a little bit more mobile. We're still got a fair way off that, so don't go anywhere. We'll try and get Ben and Jace on to have a chat. But I think for everyone that's watching, we've had a bit more banter and less about the game, I think, so far, because it is pretty one-sided at the moment, which sometimes happens. And as we've said a couple of times, I think Jace is a little bit on tilt due to his flight being severely delayed. As I said a little earlier, he was meant to leave Sydney at 6 a.m. As in the flight was a 6 a.m. flight, but it didn't leave till well after 7:30, which just meant getting here was hard. Luckily for Jace, there was a few factors that delayed the round. So he got here. It's like, where am I going? Really stressed out. I'm like, calm down. Yeah, I think there's a couple of mistakes that Jason wouldn't have made and won't make in subsequent rounds. I think anyone who looks at Jason's result from this game and expects that in the next game is going to be shocked, because if you come in round 2 against Jason, Jason's going to calm down a bit. He's going to find his center and he's going to really get his game on. What state is each guy playing for? So Jason, with the sisters list up the top, is playing for Team South Australia, and down the bottom, Ben Clarke and his Yanari is from Team New Zealand. Look, it is great to see New Zealand back in the fold. We had New Zealand for the first time ever at. So we've had an Australian Masters for ever, like I don't know how long before I was on the scene. So it's been going for 10 years or more. And this was the first year we're like, you know what, we're going to open up some spots, change the format a bit, and it was the ANZ Masters instead. And so 2 NZ guys came over. They got roughed up round 1, but it was it was good, I think, to see them come over. The other thing that was interesting with the ANZ Masters was it was the first Masters we ran that was also ITC.
Yeah.
So they don't play too much ITC over in New Zealand. So there is an impact there, of course.
Don't mind me.
Yeah. Also, just want to do another shout out to the Godhammer Gaming lads. This bad boy. All right, for those that are like me, that like to fidget,
Yep.
I'm going off on a tangent here, but both my little boy and I like to fidget, and my wife got me a legit. It's called a fidget ring. Alright, I know it's a little bit off track, but it spins. Alright, as in it's a ring within a ring.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm always just doing that with my tack template.
Yep.
I'm glad because I got a set. I got one.
We'll have to buy some beers and see if we can open beers with it.
Oh mate, that would have been genius.
I think so, but I just don't want to talk it up and say the wrong thing.
You know what we should do? Even if you can't, like that is. I mean, it's the right size.
I reckon we can.
I reckon you could do it, but I reckon you could also just get a, you know, ones you can get on the fridge.
Masking
Just get one,
tape?
just fucking glue it. Just glue it. Anyway, how did Jem is the best, Chels? You are 100% accurate. My wife, who's currently at home looking after our boy, and has graciously said she'll do it for a whole 10 days while I fly to Serbia. I've got
Mother of the Year award.
mate. She's like, oh, you're actually gonna do any parenting this year? I'm like, oh,
It's not what I signed up for.
no, but a shit champ. And
Do you ever pull the line? You knew what I was like when you met me.
mate, not if I wanted to keep
Leave.
my balls.
So as for the game, it's mop up. So there's a smattering of units. Like he made half a dozen rolls when we were over there from like high AP shooting from the planes and curtain fall and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Pretty much rolled fours like the whole time. So if you had that cannon S, it wouldn't have taken any damage. You know, but you go now when it's on sixes, you know, it's a little bit different. So like you got pockets of stuff everywhere that's pretty much next to useless against anything. He's got no anti-tank. He's gonna basically have the wave serpent.
Has he pretty much just got a handful of sisters? Does he have the Saint left?
Yeah, the Saint's up the top there on the right, just behind that building. But she can't ever move anywhere. By the time you got Reapers and Curtain Fall and Rangers, because he hasn't been able to target anything. As soon as she pops her head up, she's going to go down then. And then, you know, could very
So
well...
I'm assuming the Reapers and the Curtain Fall are up the top there?
Well, the biggest thing too is if she ever tries to pressure, the thing with Saint is like, yeah, she goes down and then she gets back up. But if you shoot Reapers at her and drop her in the psychic phase, she gets up at the end of the psychic phase, then you shoot her and you drop her in the shooting phase. You can kill her in one turn. Like, because everything's at the end of turn.
Yeah.
At the end of phase, sorry. So it's just
she's
like,
coming out.
Yeah, and this,
I mean, she has to.
This will be the
point.
death knoll. Like, this is Jason's turn 2.
Yeah.
So she'll come out, she'll get some points, you know, do some things, but yeah, expect her to see her get double popped this turn.
Yeah. They are both pretty low on command points, which is also worth pointing out, but I don't think that's,
I always get excited when I see Eldar down to like 1 or 2 CP, because you go, no more shenanigans, you know, throughout the whole turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you
changed.
think about the Ynnari getting changed the way they are? Because it's not just changed; it's complete and utter.
They're dead.
Throw it in the bed, and then have you?
I
you played much?
I think they were. I think they didn't have a choice but to just basically banhammer it.
Yeah.
Because here's what happened: Ynnari came out; it was stupidly powerful. They tried a couple of fixes that did nothing.
Yep.
It didn't do anything. They brought out the unrelated specific to Ynnari, but was relevant. They brought out the rule of 3.
Yep.
So I think it was the LVO win from Nanavati had like multiple units of like small man
I think you had 4 units of Reapers because it was two.
They're all small mans with the XR.
Yeah, it was one big one that
Yeah.
he could double fire, but then it was
Like 4 3-mans
and then
or
4
something.
3-mans, and it was basically like 2 of the main guns and then indirect.
Yeah.
So he was basically using Reaper units like you would
Mortars.
Yeah, mortars, like
Yeah.
your ball weapon batteries.
Yeah. So I think they brought out the rule of 3. That changed the list, but it was still dominating. They changed points.
Yep.
Didn't feel like they changed enough. And then...
Well, this is the sad thing is if you never ran Yanari, you're sitting there as an Eldar player going, why am I getting hit all the time?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't double move. Why are my spears costing me more?
Yep.
Like, you know, and
Like
it was just becoming
100%.
ugly.
Yanari needed... personally, I think Yanari, if they wanted to keep it the same way, they needed their own points list.
Yeah.
Like, and also being able to keep the craft
You're
world
in
was
400
horrendous.
points, like.
Or just make her ridiculous. Yeah.
You're
Yep.
just going, if you want a Gilly type stat line where you double, well, how much does Reapers cost for a 10-man?
Not enough.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're just going, but if you're firing them every turn.
So Ben Clarke is running a 10-man at 345.
Yep, roll 7, and that's how much extra points you've got in your list every turn.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the only thing Reapers do is shoot. So
Yep.
it's just like, all right, cool. So what's that over 5 turns? Over 1,000 points? Cool. So your rain could be 400 points.
Yep.
It's just, there was multiple ways of doing it. I like it for the fact that if it's like, okay, are you playing Yanari or are you playing it wrong? Like, that's where it comes. There was no choice.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Elder and Dark Elder, you sort of see the 6 and 7 fly list.
Yeah.
But usually when you see Yanari and it's up the top tables, it is.
It
Like,
was
sorry,
always
when
the
you
same
see
list.
Elder.
It
Yeah,
was always
and
the
it
same
is.
list.
Yep.
It was Dark Reaper. It was this list basically. I mean, Dark Reapers, Shining Spears, and stuff.
You know, the really sad thing is,
What?
I went, I'll try Yanari because I don't run a lot of Yanari
Yeah.
normally because I just think it's.
You like doing
horrendous.
hard mode? Yep.
It's not even hard mode. I just don't really. It's very much easy
I
mode.
love it though. Hard mode is still Craft World Eldar, which is still solid.
Yeah, exactly. It's solid as shit. But it's just like, so I went, yeah, cool. Let's run Yanari. Like, as in after FAQ, I'm like, let's get some combos in there. Let's utilize some of the new strat lines. Put units in to go. If this is the strength of Yanari, let's put the units in to match the rule.
Yeah.
And I just found that
You got some
actually,
Seraphim dropping in, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
targeting those bikes, shooting now, shooting later, might get them because they're only 4-up
All
saves.
because he had 3 units of.
Yep.
So we're all 3 in reserve for Deep Strike.
2 were.
2 were.
And I think he dropped 1 at the back then, the end of
Okay.
his firm one then, but they've just been deleted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found that as I was running this Yanari list with a mixture of everything else, I'm like, Craftworlds just does this better.
Yeah.
So my predictions with what Eldar will go through is either people migrate to the fly spam, or you'll start seeing Wraithblade or Sea Council builds again.
I think Wave Serpent spam's also a strong list.
It is.
I think you'll see.
But how many times
an
can you play that list?
Yeah, true. Look, here's the thing. What we're seeing, and I think we're going to see a big shift in the meta, and I'll be interested to see how it ends up balancing out.
Yeah.
So, Looter's got a big hit from the FAQ, not being able to mob up. All right, so you're going to start seeing. Maybe you'll start seeing some more tank busters. Maybe you won't. I think although I still think you're going to see a lot more mech show up with the mindset that Knight's got a hit, and so less people are taking their huge number of anti-mech guns to deal with Knights.
Yep.
So you'll see, I think, a decrease in the amount of anti-mech capability, an increase in the mech in the field, and then it will balance back out again.
Yep.
I think if you look at lists, or more to the point, if you look at players that do really well consistently throughout an entire tournament year, a lot of them will chop and change their list or tweak it quite a bit based on what they anticipate the meta's going to be.
Yep.
And it's sometimes
What's changed
it's dumb
from an
luck.
FAQ? Yeah.
Sometimes it's dumb
It is.
luck. It's like, all right,
Someone stumbles onto a gold mine and just rides it. You know.
mate. I was having this chat with Eric Lathuris, the man, the myth, the legend, Eric Lathuris. He hasn't lost a tournament game in like 9 months or something. His NIDs were undefeated for how long?
He's almost up there, yeah. So
Yeah, I joke around in calling him the man, the myth, the legend, but I mean he's getting there. He's getting there.
Yeah, and we've talked about it.
He just won CanCon. He just won BrizCon.
Yeah.
He won Queensland Masters. I'll be interested. I don't think he'll drop a game this weekend.
Oh, we'll see, because he's getting thrown up.
I don't think he'll drop it. But yeah, all right. Well, maybe we'll talk about.
It's one of these things when you go to individual tournaments is one thing. Like in regards to like a tournament winning streak, if he wants to keep that title, I wouldn't count this event.
I would.
I know, but you go
because he doesn't want to keep that title. It's not him.
Oh,
it's
you
me.
know what I mean.
I'm giving him the
At the end of the day, you go, I wouldn't count this event purely the fact that he could be thrown into reds or he could be baited out and stuff like that. Whereas if you go into a standalone event,
so for the question, what is he running? He's running his NIDS list, which is just NID carpet, lots of gaunts, old one eye, some characters, but just
Gene Steel, Cold
lots of gaunts.
Yeah, 180.
Yeah,
at least.
not his Masters list. That was what 270.
But that's the difference in matter as well. Like
Yeah.
Queensland here, we're looking at, I think Down Under Pairings put it at 39 lists for running 3+ nights at BrizCon.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're heavily dominated by super heavies in Queensland.
Yep.
And then when you run Smite Spam or Character Utility, Old One Eye, with a carpeted gaunts and Bioball shells to pin knights down, it doesn't,
Well, they're not getting through all those gaunts.
No. And I'm not saying it's on easy mode. He's still got to be very tight with his movement. But you go when you're going against a field that can't really deal with the meta of what you're running, because you're going against the grain whilst still being able to handle the meta. Like in some games I've watched him, he hasn't even killed a knight. He's just won the game by just going, just block you in your movement.
Yep.
Like, and you go, and that's it. You don't score cards for 3 turns. Like it's not a game. So especially in ITC and ETC and stuff like that. So. It's very much, I see a lot of people make mistakes of like, they sort of settle into a list and they run it in every format. I'm like, have a look at the ETC list compared to ITC, American lists on BCP and all that. They're night and day. While guys rate 9 Talos, they won't be running 9 Talos. They run the Grot spam in the other system. Like it's all night and day.
Yeah, it is very interesting seeing the list changes by meta and list format. I mean, you just look at the lists that have been playing. So we wasn't this one. It was Glasshammer Gaming ran an event late last year. They also run one run on Down Under Pairings recently, but the one last year had a whole bunch of it was Glasshammer Open, had a whole bunch of Europeans come over.
Yep.
And so there were some England guys that were running the Drakari list. And I think they were all running, not all running, but there was a number of like 9 Talos list with stuff. And the Europeans were just running the 2 units with like the grotesques. It was really interesting to see how entire metas had kind of just, local metas had just like all gone to the same direction.
Yeah.
But then when you chuck them together, it's just interesting to see what happens when you grab people from different areas.
I think going across and looking at some of the old ETC lists or the ones that are winning. See, it's hard because in America they're very ITC dominated tournament systems over there.
Yep.
But if you look at any sort of, I know Canada runs a lot of ETC style events, or you look over in some of the actual Europe events. Their lists are night and days towards the Americans from the fact that a lot of horde. Like, whereas like we've got tailored lists like the Yunari, like high damage dealing, very consistent stuff. Like Yunari's been dominating the Castellan list with the Castellan doing bulk of the work like you said. But then you go to ETC style where it's like a little bit of survival, a little bit of movement. And
it's interesting you say that, but I mean, you look at the ITC events. I mean, you got a couple of Canadians that have done really well of late, running similar list to what Matt Morrisoli has been running for quite some time.
What's he been running?
Demon
with the bombs?
Yeah, so basically, usually running 1 or 2 Zangor bombs, some plague bearers, and then like Armin and some more casters.
Yeah.
And
highly mobile.
Jim Vessel's been basically running that list now for a little while, but it's, I would say, 6 months behind what Australia's been running. Now that actually doesn't mean anything really. I mean, you go, because I know there's a big stink about the US being like 6 months behind the UK,
I know
all that sort of stuff.
No.
It's not that at all. I think different lists, as metas evolve, they evolve in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's not just what's currently good; it's also what the good players want to play.
Well, it's also the same thing too. As you go, yeah, that's like awesome. You know, that's an American list. It's just like, well, bring it to Australia, and it's not going to work here.
Yeah.
You know, like that's
and
like
also, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You take some of our lists over there, wouldn't work because you go, all right, we've got a whole bunch of Horde lists doing quite well, so a bunch of our top players take some more anti-Horde capabilities.
Yep.
All right, those top players then take those anti-Horde lists to the US where they don't have Horde,
Yep.
so they don't do that well.
Yep.
Like,
I'm like, if you ever want to be good at gaming and stuff like that, you really do have to look into top players because you've got to beat them to win it.
Yep.
You know, and then basically, once you see what all roughly the top players are looking at, that gives you a guide on roughly what the meta in your end game is going to be. But then you got to look at the 75%ers. So you got to look at the 3 and 2s at the events and stuff like that to go what made it in there for day 1, and then fell short on day 2 or vice versa. It's like they always say the gatekeeper list is the Knights.
Yep.
You know, you got to be able to beat Knights to win an event, and it is true. You know, because they're just so popular. Brits, New Australians being 615.
You're wrong, mate. You're wrong. I think it's not someone. Oh, not you're wrong. Apologies, but that they're wrong. We're wrong. Everyone's wrong. No one is actually behind.
No.
It's circular.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Like,
They're different. They're different
well.
points. They're different points of the circle. So I've just put up a video or a link to our YouTube channel where we've got an Eric Lathuris playlist. So all the games that he's been on stream so far. There's a couple that are missing, which we'll get on shortly.
Yeah.
But going to your point, if you want to be at the top end, obviously watch Down Under Network. That's where it's at. Watch games. Watch the top players. Watch the streams. But keeping in mind that it's worth checking out things like Down Under Pairings or BCP or Tawny Keeper for those that are in Europe. Check out the players that are going to be at the event, especially if you're traveling. Like if I was coming from Vic, if I'm going to a Brisbane event, I'm going to be like, well, what are the top dogs in Brisbane?
Well,
what do they normally take? What's the meta kind of look like?
Bit of a backstory. Adam from here actually come up to one of our first ones that we ran up in Brisbane this year, and he was just overwhelmed. He's just like, he was doing the nice thing and being the ambassador, and he took his Black Templars and stuff, which he does well with. But he more or less just went, I'm going to suss it out, going to support us, it'd be great. He come up with Matt Morrisoli, and his name's lost on me. But those boys come up, and Adam ended up versing 3 super heavy lists. Nick Kelly. Yeah, sorry, Nick Kelly. Because I'm like, he plays Nids. I'm like, and even Adam said, he goes, I was just so shocked about, I think he versed 2 actual Knight players and then a Chaos Knight player.
Yeah.
And he's just like, the amount of super heavies up here is insane.
Yeah.
And he's like, aren't you guys, like, you guys are so backwards. Like, everyone gave up on super heavies like 6 months ago. I'm like, yes and no.
But then, of course, because of, and this is why I'm coming back to that circular comment, you've got, all right, so one scene decides, you know what, I'm going to start, some of the top players like, oh, there's so much super heavy, dominance. Start bringing stuff. You're going to tool your list to beat super heavies, so people take less super heavies. Yeah. All right, and then as soon as you get to a point on that circle where
Horde starts being super heavies,
Deathwatch
comes in.
People go, all right, I'm going to take less anti-super heavy, more anti-horde, and then suddenly there's enough anti-horde to scare the horde list, but then these super heavies come back in
and steamroll,
because
then they've got to go back again. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back the entire time.
Do I know the pairings for WA and New South Wales?
Everyone can know the pairing, if they're not up.
If they haven't put their pairings up.
Yep. So you can go to the
if you go to downunderpairings.com, the captains should be putting their pairings in. If they haven't, it's going to make a very difficult process of putting the score sheets in. But we'll see how that goes. We will definitely harp on that for round 2 to make sure that's all up to date and on the way. What I might end up doing, I might actually grab my iPad, do a little bit of a hover. There's a chance that some of these guys have written on a spreadsheet or written on a piece of paper, hopefully, and I'll just hammer the pairings in for them because I'm a nice guy.
Before you do that, I might just do a little update.
Go for it. All right. But yes, we'll try and get some of those other team matchups in there as soon as we can. You need to understand the meta you're traveling to, basically. 100%. That's pretty much what we're getting at. But the trick is, that, as I said, players will adjust and adapt to their meta, and some of the time there's just dumb luck. You can run a list that I don't know, maybe it doesn't have enough anti-horde in it, and you lost. You didn't do that great in the previous event. You don't make any changes. You rock up to the next event, and the meta's shifted, or you just don't play those lists. Lots of different options that come into it. Yeah. All right, so we're looking pretty rough for Jason and his sisters list. So I believe we're going into Ben Clarke's turn 3. So we've got Jason drop some sisters over here on the right. Looks like he's taken out. So there's some Seraphim there. Looks like he's taken out some of the jet bikes that were sitting on this objective. Looks like they're just doing a ruling. No.
Just discard as you can't.
No, you can if you can't physically achieve it, like they don't have a flyer, for example, and you draw the card or psych or whatever.
Okay, so basically what we can see, Diff might do his little magic, but we got down here.
Yeah.
This was the Seraphim squad that arrived from Deep Strike, so double flaming unit. It took out a unit of Rangers, and then also put some hurt into the bike. Collins just said to me, he goes, "Oh yeah, I've lost the sense." So
we know.
Yeah, we know. But he's like, yeah, and then I moved everything up to gank that to trade with that. So he's actually got a fair few units, which will help him because, like, when you're dealing out your maths to try and finish things off to stop him from scoring endgame.
Well, how do you think that's looking then? Because at the moment we've still got...
Well, that fly has to get out of there. So that's going to be coming across. If he's keeping certain units there, it's the Harlequin bikes that does it. It's Elder and one of the things, like, you really got to worry about the spears. So check done, he's got rid of them.
Yep.
The Reapers are next.
So the Reapers, are they the ones are they up here?
Yep.
Yep.
And also the Curtain Fall Harlequin dudes there as well.
That's probably one of those.
So that Seraphim unit's in a pretty good place to go get it. Because you don't necessarily have to kill him, you just have to trap him.
Yep. Is that Eldred up there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the typical Elder.
Eldred buffing. Yeah.
Yeah, so this Wave Serpent's copping a beating, so it's down a lot. But he's moving in his turn now anyway, so he's just asked if he can discard cards that he can't possibly achieve.
Yep.
And then obviously check the FAQ and the rules pack.
Yeah, check your FAQ and you'll find out that that's already been answered.
Yeah. But this is what we're going to say, like, they've got so much going through their head, something that should be really obvious, you sort of just get dumbfounded on.
Also, I mean, different tournaments have run it in different ways over the years.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I've ever TO'd an event or been involved with ruling, I've always said, when you draw the card, or any point after that, if you can no longer achieve it, you can discard it.
Yeah.
All right. Whereas other events I've seen, if you could have possibly achieved it at any point in the game, you can't discard it. So, for example, if they had a Psyker at some point, there's no Psyker left, you draw the killer Psyker or whatever.
Yeah.
I personally don't like that, but, you know, and that's the thing. I mean, you are talking about players that have come from all over Australia and New Zealand that playing in different metas, different formats, different rulings.
I just like the
different
fact
options.
that if you draw it, you go, I've got this turn, or I can set up for future turns to do it. Like drawing
Yeah.
it and just for a wording issue or something like that, go, I'm now stuck with this, or I've got to expend that. I'm like, that's not generalship.
Nah.
That's just resource management.
Yeah.
You know, and you're going, am I bringing a list to afford the CP to dump this out? And I'm like, I'd rather have players have the ability to play things out and create a battle plan and execute it properly to get these cards, because I reckon that shows a better skill than
Mate, when you box in a wave serpent, they are a bitch to move.
lucky
It's
all the models are metal.
Yeah. Oh, all the sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mate, so they hold on.
I've had those models longer than I've been married.
Is that really?
Yeah.
I've had my demons longer than I've been married.
It was funny, I was going through my collection the other day and went up to a Northern Nights event. So
Yeah.
there's some of the guys up in, pretty much going to the North Coast. But they've been going on for years and years and years, but they've finally got, they had a bit of a lull period, but they're getting back into 40k, so we went up to an event up there. And I'm like, I really want to try something new. So I'm not new, but I'm like, I really got to revive something for my guard. And I got my Yarrick that I got when I was 12 years of age.
Mate.
So repainted him, gave him a fresh lick. So it's the one with the crab claw.
So we've got we had at the Hammer House in the true Hammer House days when we first started in our apartment. We had two models that we would proxy for the most ridiculous things. So we had an old Eldar Ranger,
Yeah.
which didn't have a gun.
Yeah.
Alright, that was like, we'd use him as Mephiston, we'd use him as like all these characters. And we had the old Gazgul model, which is tiny.
Yeah.
I still have that Gazgul model in my collection. It's in a box somewhere.
Yeah, I think the new Mega Knobs are actually bigger than him.
Oh, no doubt. Mate,
Because he's
I
only
think the
he's
current,
about that big, about that wide.
I think the current boys are bigger than him. I think the current Grots might even be close to bigger than him.
Have you built any new grots?
Yeah,
The plastic ones?
Yeah.
How good are they?
they're good. But
Stick head on. Like,
Sorry?
I'm not a model builder. I don't like it. It's one of the part of the hobbies where I'm like, I do it.
Oh,
because I need to.
some of them are just stick a head on. Some of them you still have to do some, but
I'm
most
like,
of them not.
I'm like, it's nothing better this. Because I'm sitting there, because obviously new orcs come out and all that sort of stuff, and I'm like, I'll update my collection. And
They're not as good as the old Grots. The ones that are just like
I got
this with the pointy hat. I still got a whole bunch of those. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, meta says 100, so I'll buy 70 grots.
What I want to do with my old Grots is get a whole bunch of them, put them on little pillars that you just get from like cake shops and stuff. Alright, and spray them all and do like a marble effect and just have like a display board with a whole row of these like statue Grots.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's all they're good for.
No, they're not. They're perfectly
Those
fine.
ones, those
No,
ones.
put them on the table.
Nah, I
I
couldn't
got
do
no
it. I
qualms
can't
with
do
older
it.
armies, man.
I don't mind old armies. I just don't like mixing and matching.
That's fine.
Well,
It's-
yeah,
it's
sure.
an ode
It's
to the
fine for
old.
you.
Oh, you can give it to me. I'll put them on the table again.
Yeah, okay. Alright. Mate. It's been a long time since we played a game. Fifth Ed?
No, probably.
Yeah. Would have been your Crons, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Fuck. It has been a long time.
Well, living two states apart kind of helps.
Yeah, but you weren't playing in... Because we kept coming up for Titans and smashing you Queensland lads. You weren't playing in it.
No, not over. You got to have friends to be in team events.
Oh, mate. Mate, let us know. Me and Adam will come up. We'll be on your
I thought
team.
I was going to play for Vic next year.
Eric's already said he wants to play for Vic next year. You know what? Like, it'd be absolutely awesome and also shit at the exact same time if we seriously did just have, like, trades. Like we go, all right, we work out our teams, and then and then it's like, all right, I'm going to trade you. I'm going to trade you an Eric, and you can start with an extra, 10 battle points. Yeah.
So Archon Win knows what it's about.
Plan to get them all on the table this year. Do it, mate. Do it. It's yeah. Also, I think they're not that expensive on eBay.
No.
Because there are some old models that really hold.
That expensive. It's like $28
No,
or something for 10, and you get an old.
And you get a run herd.
Yeah. In GW, currency, that's bloody cheap.
I do feel they should, and they're not going to because the runt herd is on the same sprue as a number of the grots, but they could, if they redid the sprue and still just charged the $22 or $28 a box and just took out the runt herd, because let's face it, you don't need a runt herd for every 10 grots. I mean, people are buying 8 boxes plus of this. And they might have one runt herd in their list.
Yeah.
Might.
But then you get your shooter boys that made into shooter boys instead of chopper slugger. Then just give them the weapons from that.
Yep.
Just use your spare bits from your stuff either or. Put them on there. Make them into knobs. Give them some power core and stuff.
They're knob size. Yeah.
So that's what I like about orcs is nothing goes to waste.
Mate, I think.
What are you doing with that old rhino you got sitting there?
What we need to do, actually, I'm going to just ask Andy to get me something if you can.
So we got an orc player playing right in front of the stream table as we're talking about orcs and conversions.
Yeah, kill one. Yeah.
So we're seeing if his opponent can target his big guns.
So
we can move off.
Yeah, so he's got I think they're orc looter models. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here's one of them. See, this is how you make orcs. That's a shock attack gun right there.
So a bit of Tau in there.
It's basically a burner boy, I think, with just some Tau. Is that a railgun from Tau?
It's got the grot herder stick.
And here's the relic one. Hold on. I mean that's insane. Like that's orcs though. That's orcs.
Yeah. Orcs sort of make me reminisce of like when you're really young, you used to have to wait till like a birthday present or whatever to get it. You just scratch all this stuff together.
I'm getting judge question.
Yep. Alright, so thinning down the horde in the middle there basically protects 3 of his objectives because obviously the Harlequins can move up to objective 4. He can control the center one. Reapers in an instant can basically relocate to the lower one if need be. He's got rangers there. So he's shutting off one side of the board because basically he can leave him with objectives 3, 5 and fight over 1. Because remember, the ones in the centre, the ones that the orange bikes are on and the planes on at the moment, which can't score it, but they're worth 2. And that objective 3 is worth 4 points to the Inari player. So I'm guessing that's basically where the Inari bikes will sort of turbo last turn too.
So what we've got, I'm assuming Ben got a Maelstrom card.
Yeah.
And that's why he's gone for that one. Alternatively, could have just tried to take an objective off Jace, so Jace can't score cards or draw cards. But yeah, you're right. So he's
Jace is currently off objectives now.
This is the thing, though. I mean, Ben doesn't need to commit to objective 3 until late game, as long as he protects some of these, or these.
Yeah.
He only has to have 1 unit left at the end of the game. Because look, what have we got? We've got like 2 sisters, 3 sisters.
Yeah.
Is that the captain?
Yeah, that's the captain.
That's the captain. And Celestine.
He's got about 3 or 4 squads up the back. But that's what I was just saying before you came back. It seems like he's basically clearing up the left side of the table, or his left.
Yeah.
And basically, you can have 5, and you can even have the 3.
Yeah.
We'll call it 2 points that you hold, and I'll take the other 4 objectives. Like, The Seraphim just bit it,
Yeah.
which was the last unit.
To really have any guts to
Well, that was
to
his
do
last
anything.
reserves as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yep, cool, I got bikes.
Also, Celestine's clearly going to go down shortly.
Yeah,
Again, has she gone down yet?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it go down yet.
But I mean, she's closest model now to the Reapers.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Reaper? Or did he use the Reapers to take out the Seraphim? Maybe.
Had it? Maybe.
Yeah.
Because that plane didn't need to fire, like come over and fire into something. So
Yeah. But yeah, I think interestingly enough, that the objective 5 is not worth anything at the end of the game. It is.
Oh, that's right, because it's 5 and 6 discounted. Yeah, so that 6 must have been a Maelstrom card.
And get 2 scores, and it will do it. You know how it works.
Mum and Dad are fighting.
Read the mission.
Pretty much the quote of the weekend. Read your mission pack. Read the FAQ.
I'm actually legitimately considering
Starting a
warning cards.
charity. With the dumb question, donate $1 to a local charity.
I was thinking penalties, but all right, we can go with that as well. No, I think we've got penalties for. I'm pretty sure we've got penalties for over calling judges too often. We might review that, and because it's just stupid. I mean, you ask a question that's literally written on the mission pack.
Well, yeah, you've ran events, you've been to plenty. How many times do you got to cop the same sort of stuff all the time?
Bribes?
Yeah.
Sorry?
You just got iced.
Unfortunately, this is actually a twist top. We could have tested.
You can test it now.
Hold on, let's.
You've already twisted it. Nah, it's a bit small. We'll have to modify.
Hold on, no. Oh, no, don't do that.
Alright, so
Cheers.
you guys are not in the know. Our guys out at the long wall, we got Kenny Boucher. Went, was it 6 ice in a row at his last event?
I don't know. Just tastes good.
Good.
I haven't had a Smirnoff in a very long time.
Get white girl wasted. So as we were just talking about that, one of the players come over when we were just saying, I'm like, players don't read their rules, or they're asking stuff that can easily be found. One of the guys coming over with his rule book sort of open. He's like, oh, can you just have a look at this for a sec? And Diffie's trying to go, we were on the stream, go over there. There's 2 TOs literally sitting down next to you that you could ask, and he's got the Smirnoff Ice in the middle of his codex for Diff. So that was good. Because the whole objective of the game is that they can't know they're getting iced. You have to either give it to them in covert, or they've got to basically find it, and then you're meant to nominate it. So it's a good game to play. So I'll put it out there for the chat. Is there any sort of players / games that you'd be interested in? Like, I would highly recommend that you go down Under Pairings and start looking through some of the lists. And as the games progress, or some of the teams progress, we'll be able to put them on stream or do that. Diffie. So the centre got cleared out. He's now working on the right hand flank. I think this is the plane shooting.
So, so funnily enough, captains were told to put their pairings in. We've now got players that are finishing their games and going, how can I put scorings in? I said, well, put your pairings in. How is this?
But if the captains don't have the pairings in, the players can't put their scores in.
Yeah.
So yes, captains meeting.
Next captain's meeting, it's like, guys, just,
Do your job.
it's drop-down boxes. Like, it's... Mate.
You can do it as you're scoring.
Do it, look, as you put someone up, select them in the drop-down.
Do you want to go through how the actual process happens? Because like some of your guys probably not seen this sort of pairing.
I've got a demo version I can bring up.
So it's a little bit different. Guys don't just like roll off to see who they're playing. So it's a very, very guided, and this is where a lot of the higher teams really tip it in their favour. Because in 40k, when you're reaching the top, like we're all expecting these guys are of high calibre. The lists are going to be of high calibre. And you go, what's the difference between that? Is basically, like if you take your ego out of 40k and you realise that some armies just don't compete well against others. Like we were talking about meta before, we were like, difference of horde, difference of mech. This all comes into play of it. So this is why these types of events, if you ever get a chance to play out for, or put your hand up for it, I highly recommend you do it because it is a different way of playing 40k.
So basically the way the pairing system works is captains roll off. The roll-off's not overly relevant in this, but it comes up at a point. So let's say New Zealand were playing WA. New Zealand would put forward a list, and I'm just going to pick top of the list because it's easy.
Yep.
All right, so they put forward their Astra Militarum player. They put theirs up, and WA puts up maybe their Adeptus Astartes player. All right, and then WA goes, well, all right, I've got these two lists that are good against that Astra Militarum, so I'll put them both forward. And then the New Zealand player picks from those two. Let's just say it was the Custodes list. All right, and vice versa. He plays Chaos Demons. The captain that won the dice roll, their pairings, and let's make it easy, New Zealand gets to pick first, so they pick the first of those tables in their row.
Because the person who's basically getting thrown up
gets to
and
pick
can potentially play any one of the 8 lists, gets to choose the table that they're going to fight on. So it's sort of, you go, rather than just be a whitewash all the time, you'd be like, all right, we're going to pick that table because I can hide here, I can do this, try and scrounge those points. Because usually when you're thrown up, there's going to be, like, especially when you're like one of the first 2 throw-ups, very good chance that, there's going to be a list out there to counter you.
So basically they go through that process, and I'm just going to cheat and just pick the players, just down the list, yada 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 yada. Whatever. So to finish pairing them all off, it'll give them any warnings if they've paired poorly along the way, which I obviously have for some reason. So Army 2 selected is the same as Army 2 for Game 5. So whoops, I selected Blood Angels twice. So it's usually just someone making obviously a simple mistake. So bang, away I go. And let's just bash out those tables. So pairings are all done. So then players will now have their matchups, and they can then go in and enter their scores, which is the screen we went into for the New Zealand SA earlier.
Yep. And you see down the bottom there where it's got 80.
See, yep. So obviously by default it's a 10-all draw. Sorry. Yep. 10-all draw to begin with. So like as picking this up as an example, maybe it was 5-3 for Eternal War. Maybe it was 7-2 for Maelstrom, and they got, I don't know.
So for anyone that hasn't
6
seen
kill
the ETC
points.
style system there, you're basically looking at a primary, a tertiary, and a secondary.
Yeah.
So you're playing 3 different aspects of the game. So it's not like you rock up to a mission and you go, it's all about scoring objectives.
Yeah.
You've got to score every turn. You've got to get your cards every turn. And at the end of the game, you've got to try and conserve your kill points.
Yeah.
So you're playing 3 different games at once, which adds to the skill set of it.
Yeah.
So it's not just, I'll just take this list because it doesn't die because I'm really good at kill points. It's like, well, it doesn't score very well either.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time and prep goes in the list design.
So right now, the game we're currently watching is Eternal War. Obviously, neither have put those in yet because that's end of game.
Yep.
But so far, we've got 9 Maelstrom of War points, 5 to 3 on kill points. First blood or first strike, as it turns out, is there. And so there's 15 to 3. So that is 8 victory points difference, as I said before. So basically divide that by 2, round up, and so that's 6 points above the draw and 6 points below the draw for the 2 players.
Yeah.
So you've got a 16-4 at the moment.
Yeah, currently. Remember, tabling doesn't count as an order 20.
Cause of acceptable casualties, as per chapter approved 2019, 18, whenever it came out.
We'll do that.
Chapter approved number 2.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of insight into that. So, captains, you've got to work out the system, work out teams that can play in that system, because, like we said, not everything is fantastic at playing in that. And then they're going to work out which of their members, because you don't just, I don't know about you guys, but my Queensland's never really approached it going, we're just going to make APAD lists, we're just going to make a Yunari list that's just good at doing what Yunari does, and Orcs do what everyone has sort of a role and purpose.
It should be. It should be. I think it varies a little bit because obviously different players have different play styles, different captains have different mindsets. I think you look at the top list though, top teams. If you look at especially Vic and Queensland, all 8 lists, while they may allow the players to obviously take ownership of some of the more fine details of it, it's like, all right, I need you to have a list that can deal with A, B, and C, because that's what we're lacking in our team, and we need you to fill that role with these factions that you're using. Also remembering that you can't reuse a faction keyword, excluding the Imperium, Chaos, etc. But the main ones.
Everyone gets a codex once.
Yeah. So you'll see lists that go, maybe I'm a Chaos Demons player and normally I like to take a bit of CSM in there, or I normally like to take, whatever.
Or the classic Castle and build. You're taking Blood Angels, you're taking Guard, and you're taking Knights. Then you go in a team event. It's like, slow down, Tiger. There's 8 of us here.
Yeah.
You can't take the top.
Also, Assassins is a prime example. Only one person can have Assassins.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, which list needs it? That's going to fit a specific build.
Yeah.
You go, we've got this build to beat, I don't know, the Demon list, which has the Thousand Suns, Caster Bomb. And you go, all right, well, that list probably wants some snipers in there to also help out, take out this character, or whatever.
Yeah.
You just go, all right, well, build that around.
Not everyone can have a Castellan, not everyone can have your brain. You have
we're not far off at least 2 players having a Castellan. Who knows how this CSM Knights, these Chaos Renegade Knights books going to...
I like them.
Have you seen it all? I haven't had a good look yet. I've seen the spikes.
In general, but
I've seen the spikes.
Okay. They're wicked models.
Yeah.
But, No, so this is Jason. The good thing about this is when you watch Jason playing, he's been in it the entire time. He took a massive hit the first turn, but he's been doing every card, he's been moving, he's been punching back as best he can. He doesn't give up, and this is what we're saying. Usually when you see a lot of people in single events, they're going a bit bally. They might sort of packer it in and go...
I actually answered an answer incorrectly. I've read the pack this time. I said read the pack. I think it's kill point differential. It's not. It's just kill points.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, this... It's the same thing about it is you're going to have these matchups. You can't walk away and go, how many points did you get? I only got 5.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're a bad player. You're going against the best in the state that are willing to travel. And you're going, You can have the wrong table picked on you. You can
Yep.
have, the wrong list thrown against you. You go, oh, I'm primarily Horde, and then you go, out comes the anti-Horde list. Like, what you're judged on is how you conduct yourself throughout the entirety of the game. And Jason's like held his head up, and he's been given it as best he can the whole way through.
Yep.
So regardless, it's a win in his books, for his team, because he's not he didn't get table turned to.
Mate, all right, look, the scores aren't looking that great. I mean, right now, what's really going to hurt Jace is the Maelstrom and the Eternal War. Like, all right, so kill points wise, they're both on 5-5, so that, they're net 0 there, really.
Yeah, I think that needs to be updated.
Yeah, but you've just got 9 Maelstrom points for Ben to 1 for Jace, and then you look at the Eternal War. I mean, poor Celestine's gone into some bikes there, so we'll see what happens there. But I reckon, actually, no, we've seen what's happened there because we're into the Inari's turn 3.
Yeah.
Or is it turn 4? Might be turn 4.
Yeah.
But yeah. But like, there's not much left. I mean, Objective 3 is just empty. I can't see. Jace might be able to pick up a few points from this objective. He might be able to clear those bikes.
Well, that's what I like about it, is some of these subtle things, and this is you can only get from hindsight or from a third eye perspective. He's making him fight over objectives that don't matter. He's all over number 5, which don't matter at the end of the game.
Yep.
He's piled units in number 6, which has forced the Saint around number 6.
Well, you've seen him just go back to Objective 3.
Now he's going for the 4-pointer, because he's probably looking at time as well, because they, between chess clocks and round time, they're probably just decided this might be the last turn. So he's going, how many yet?
I'm just checking how much left.
Yep. Yeah, so
40 minutes left in the round.
Yeah, so if I was looking at it and go, we could get as many turns as we want now, because there's not too many big activations like that big. Like when you're looking at this game, you had double, spears moving twice, and then you got moved into a double fight from them as well. Like it was 3 assault phases, two shooting phases. That's where Yanaris slow down a lot, is in the first couple of turns.
Yeah.
Once the game goes on, it's all this zippy stuff, scalpel, cut this, cut that. The game turns are quick.
Yep.
So.
But I think I can't see Celestine surviving what's in front of her.
No.
I would like a confirmation at some stage if we can find out whether or not she's died yet.
Yep. There you go.
Cool. Because that's obviously a big change there. If she has died, then obviously taking her out right now, big ticket item. But if she hasn't died, she can still potentially mess things up a little bit. Not that it's going to have huge impact in the overall. I mean, obviously, for those that have been watching the whole game and even see the scores right now, Ben Clarke's pretty much wrapped this up as a win. But the question is how big a win it's going to be. So right now, we're looking at a 15-5 in Ben's favour. Jason will be happy if he can scrounge up, say, 4 or 5 points in his loss for his team. But he's just, I think, doomed and probably doomed and jinxed. Celestine would be my guess. Or definitely a doom. Be good if we could zoom in on that, but unfortunately no. But Celestine's going to go down. We're going to pop Celestine. There's going to be a handful of sisters left, and that's about it. Celestine hasn't dropped?
No, she hasn't. So.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so basically Celestine's still on her first drop, but as I was there, we try not to
Doomed
be
and
too
jinxed?
intrusive. She just got jinxed.
Yeah.
Yvraine, this is the soul burst from Yvraine right now.
So he's going to
the
take her
weakness.
out in the psychic phase,
Yeah.
and then take her out in the shooting phase.
Yeah.
What's the range on where she gets up now?
She can't heroic in the turn that she gets down unless he's put her within 3. Like if she's only 1 inch away, she'll be able to do it. But yeah, that's Eldrad
On the
on the corner.
this guy.
Yep, so that's Eldrad.
Eldrad's taking over. He's like, you shall not pass.
Yep, this dude here, that's your Curtain Fall.
Yep.
That's your Vrain's little tail in there.
Here.
Yep. That's your Harlequin character. It'll either be a Spirit Seer or a Solitaire. I'm not sure which one.
Yep.
That's 5 Rangers. They're there. These bikes are still going strong. That's the Scat bikes.
Yep. Oh, mate, look at those sisters disappearing as well.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that's...
This should be a table in this turn.
Mate.
So this is his turn 4. Jason told me beforehand, because we try not to be intrusive when we're streaming.
Yep.
Like we don't want to seem like we're going over there and having a look and influencing games. But this card over here in the top left with the red on it, that's clear every unit outside of 12, so that's why he tried to do that big last push last turn.
Okay.
If he could get everything out of there, that would have, like we were talking about, this Maelstrom he's going to struggle with.
Yep.
That would have been a big flip over for him.
Yep.
But he didn't kill the Wave Serpent, so... Like I said, he's in full, how many points can I do to mitigate when it all goes down?
Yep.
And if I get 3 points out of this, it's not 0. Like...
He's not getting any points.
Well,
It's gonna be a 20 zip. Because it's what? It is bottom of turn
4.
Yeah. So basically, what's going to happen is he's going to table him in turn 4. Probably
He gets
getting some
turn 5.
Maelstrom. Turn 5, he gets to draw some Maelstrom, and remember, discard things he can't achieve.
No.
So pretty much, he will achieve whatever he draws. What I reckon you'll see is end of turn 4. I'm going to kill this. Celestine's all that's left.
She's probably dying now.
Probably. But turn 4, we're going to see him pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 cards.
Yep.
All right. And then any of the things that are like... I voted. There's some people claiming whether or not they've voted or not. Yes. So, yes, you'll draw 4 cards. May already have some in hand, and it's, kill something in the combat phase, I can discard that. Kill something in shooting phase, discard that. Like, basically just gets to the point where it's like, score objective 5, or line breaker, and he's like, okay, jet bikes.
And then the good thing is, because he's the only one doing it,
Yeah.
he'd be like, what do you want, Maelstrom? You can already work it out to go, how much do I need to score in my last turn to push me into that bracket to get the 20 points? Because you go, am I going out to 5 that doesn't matter?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't need it. I'll see what else I can do. You know.
What's up, Bartosz? How's things over in Kiwiland? Hayden's sitting, or standing, I should say, right in front of me. And let's see, I'm seeing a lot of... doing quite well. Bartosz wants to know. Bartosz... Yeah. He was being a bit sheepish, and I said Bartosz wants to know, and he's like, it's going good.
He's trying to be a gentleman.
Yeah, he's trying to be a gentleman, and I'm like, no, be a dick. Tell me where it's going.
About balls deep right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Bartosz says don't fuck it up. Just gave us the thumbs up.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, there's a lot of demons still on the table, and demons are strong. Both my 2 NZ picks in my dream team are doing well this round. So I'm very happy about that. We'll do an update of how the dream team comp's going and who's where and leading what and all that jazz. Probably after lunch in round 2.
So.
Oh no, the captain's back there.
He's moving up, and I believe he's moving the same, so he didn't drop us for drinks.
Oh.
But I think the Reapers were what was really killing the guy. Like when you're looking over the top right, and like Sister's dying in droves, because he's got CP usage, not CP usage. He's got faith point usages. Saint's one of the best models because she doesn't need movement because she's already got that. No morale and all that sort of stuff. Fighting twice, you don't really need to. You pick off characters that you can kill in one turn.
Yeah.
So the really good thing to use on her is actually regrowing.
Re-rolling?
No, regrowing her wounds.
Regrowing, yep.
You can regrow D3 wounds and
Yep.
stuff like that. So, especially if you're pairing her with her two little friends as well, you can start passing wounds off onto them.
Yep.
Regrow one straight away. It basically says you've got to do essentially 8 wounds to the same to drop her in a turn, because you can pass off wounds, and then she gets back up, and you got to do 8 wounds again. So
those jet bikes which are sitting on objective 3 up the top there, the orange ones.
yeah, those are the Harlequin ones.
They're the Harlequin ones.
Yep. Nose there for Glades, they got the Star Bowlers.
How many wounds they got each? Because
3
they've got more.
each from memory.
Yeah. All right, he's just taking one of them.
That would be the Flamer.
Yeah. Because ideally what he wants to do is take them out with without having to fight her. Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of
Sorry?
He doesn't have a lot left.
No.
There's probably the captain fight in it too, because he's got a Stalker Bolter and all that.
Yeah. Jace is
Yeah, he's in it.
He's scraping.
And that's what you want to see.
But what Jace really needs to take those Reapers out of the equation.
Yeah.
And look, if
Well, same thing. If Jason was going first, the way he deployed,
yep,
this would have been a completely different game.
yeah.
Like Reapers, like
I did say at the start, as you also agreed, but I did say at the start that on paper I felt Jason's list was stronger. However, I felt he would be a little on tilt, and I was right. He made some mistakes in deployment.
Yeah, not wrapping, not being able to go first, no C's and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because those Reapers, the sense walk around, the Reapers would have been non-existent. With the amount of heavy bolters, like the amount of neg 1 he does at strength 5.
I just want to show you guys what one of the judges is currently up to. Oh, you're not going to be able to see that. That's horrible. That's horrible glare. He's just playing games on the computer.
Perks of being a TO.
Perks of being a TO.
Yeah, and that's the same. Like, you know, it could have been a completely different game, and if he wrapped properly or had that first movement phase to sort of bowl himself out, you can cop the spears in the face.
Yep. All right. So we're going into turn 5.
Yep.
All right. So we've got some scat bikes. I think there's 2 units of scat bikes. Yep. So 2 units of scat bikes. No. 3 units left of scat bikes. Interesting. I probably would have switched it around a little bit. So right now we've just chucked that one scat bike guy up the top. The reality is I don't think that one scat bike there is doing anything.
He's adding 5 pounds to the captain.
Why there though? I guess is my point.
Well, 5 doesn't matter.
No. It might not. You are correct. That being said, going up here, or you could, if it's a scat bike, you could touch that objective. Remember
Where
being
did it come from? They're
yeah.
about 16 inches.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anyway,
Means the captain can't assault it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So currently, at 20 to 6 victory points, that's a 17-3.
Yeah.
So Jace, at this point, Jace needs to, and then we've got the Flyer who's just come back into the game. The Flyer has entered the game, who's just lining up Saint. So Celestine should drop, but it'll be in the shooting phase.
I don't think she dropped last turn.
No, she didn't. But on this turn, I think.
It's only going to be in the shooting phase.
Yep.
Yep.
Which means she's going to be able to get up.
She can definitely kill those bikes on, and that'll negate on number 3 for him getting 4
So that'll get him a kill point.
Yep.
And take away a point from Eternal War from.
Well, it takes 4 points away because.
And then takes away Line Breaker as well. Maybe that's why that jet bike specifically in that point. It's a Line Breaker point.
Yeah. Because the Flyer can't.
If he can get rid of if the captain can take out that one jet bike, the Celestine can take out those 3 bikes that I think left at that top, and the game ends.
I found it weird that
the game has to end though.
Yes.
Like.
Well, for Jason's sake, he hope it bloody ends.
Mate.
Because that Flyer is going to be able to see the Saint regardless of where.
There's no way that Celestine's getting away from that Flyer.
Celestine's going to have to either go, looking from this thing. She's going to have to come down to the left to get away from the Flyer, and that opens up the Reapers to shoot her from there. So
yeah,
like it's all bad
yeah.
GGB. What do you guys think? In chat.
Yeah, what are the things that we feel that Jason could do to just to keep a couple of points? I think no matter what Jason does, turn 6 onwards, he's tabled. But it's whether or not it even matters, I guess, is the other question. So right now, even if Jace takes out those scatter bikes that are in his deployment zone, so the ones that are on objective 3 and the ones that are the one up the top right, so even if he takes out these and these, all right, he gets 2 kill points.
Yep.
All right, which brings that to a 16-4. But then...
So basically he negates one objective by
Yep.
doing that.
But then Ben's getting 2 for 5 points from Eternal War for objectives 1, 4, and 2. So this one, and this one.
Yep.
So just to be clear, that's worth 2, that's worth 2, and that's worth 1 to Ben, and this one's worth 4.
Yeah.
4 or 3?
4 to Ben.
Yeah. So if he can, I think at best, if he's still a 19-1. Huh?
I think the captain just died because he moved him from the bottom
Yep.
to the top.
And it's not his turn. Unless that captain has some ability that we're unaware of.
They like to roll dice in everyone's turn.
Yeah. So look, that captain dead means.
Look, if he gets 1 to 2 points out of this game, I think that's still a stellar rate.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think that's a best case scenario at the moment is a 19-1.
Yeah. Because to get a 2-point round for the round, you've got to get 4 players to get 20s and 1 player to get 6. Like, so you basically have 5 players.
You can't use Faith, whatchamacallit, to shoot, can you?
No.
There's fight.
We're practically
There's fight and move and heal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus morale.
Oh,
plus,
she's down. She's down.
Does she come back? Probably not.
All right. Now, for those that have been to ETC with Team Australia, this would be about the time we'd probably be getting out some pints, chucking some coins in them, and screaming, "God save the Queen," because she's drowning. She's drowning. All right. So Jace now has to basically roll the dice. God save the Queen! All right.
Look, the fact that this game.
Are they just talking it through?
Probably.
I want to know if she gets up. It's important.
I like when people talk with their hands. Because the conversation that happens in my head is completely different from what's probably being said.
I talk through
Many things.
through interpretive dance.
Yes. Yeah, the fact that this game went to 5 turns.
Well, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
after
That
losing
is
like
impressive.
900 points. in
I mean,
first
it was fair to assume he was going to get tabled. I think most of us would have thought it would have been a turn or two earlier.
Losing the sense, I wouldn't have minded so much. Losing the sense and the Kennenes first turn, you are getting tabled.
Yeah.
Because you, just on the board presence and where he deployed, that's a lot of open space.
Yep.
Fire lane from a building from Reapers into all those little 5-mans. Shooting
Yep.
twice a turn.
It's rough. It's
Yeah.
rough. It's a bold move, Carton.
Yeah. See, with the Soul Burst, because he got him down to 1 cent before he Soul Burst, I was probably going to look at it and go, have you 1 cent, maybe 2 back, and I would have put the Reapers back where the assault was, back out to where they started. Oh, they would have made
Yep.
it further away, but I wouldn't have sacrificed and let him gank my Shining Spheres. Because
Yep.
he had an activation, he had a Soul Burst activation, because he used a Psychic Power to move, not
Yep.
a Soul Burst to move.
Yeah.
So he could have used a movement Soul Burst after he killed the unit in combat.
Yeah.
And I would have taken the Reapers back out and not finished off the unit, because he already got enough units.
Yep.
Like, you already had kill points that turn and all that. I would have left it and saved my Spears.
Oh, the spears. The spears would have ganked back, you mean?
I would
Yeah,
throw him
yeah.
back out of combat using a Soul Burst movement action to fall back out of combat and get him shot, but they would have been
They're
shot.
tallying up Eternal War.
Yeah.
incorrectly. Oh well.
Yeah, so, but that's all, like, it's one of those things where, you know, as I said, 800 plus points was already taken out first turn. Yeah, it's an amazing first turn.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
It looks like he had stopped putting kill points in a while ago.
That's what I'm saying, like, that
that
had
was-
to be readdressed, because I'm like, he's got, like, over 15 or 16 just in units,
because
not characters.
he had 5 at one point. Like, it showed 5 before, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Not bad for a game that you almost didn't show up for. No,
Yeah.
they both played very well. Like Jason held his head up, still played it out, you
Yeah.
know, and did all that. So I'm excited for the rest of the day to see, you know. all that.
Yeah. Actually, look, the game kept
Hopefully,
going.
hopefully
Gave us
not
some.
crushing like that, but like.
Yeah. It's that's rough though. It's a
But that's the same. Like this is
big
just-
strong win for NZ. Let's. I mean, I can have a look at how the
But if
teams.
you go back to if you go back to a normal event and someone just turns around and goes, "I've killed your warlord. You no longer have 4 vulnerables, and I've taken your sense out of your list, and it's like a 900 point turn that I've just killed first turn."
Yeah.
I don't know too many more people that wouldn't go, "Cool, going to the bar. Like, thanks for the game."
Yep. So far, if I just bring up, let's go with. So the pairings or the results. So far we've only got 3 scores in for this team. So Adam Napier went down to Sean Sullivan's Drakari, a big 20-point win to New Zealand. Josh Britcher with his Eldar got a 20-point win against Finn Decker's Knights. And obviously we've just seen this game, Ben Clarke got a big 20-point win against Jason's Sisters. So far that's nothing but 20s. And
Which goes back to the matching process that you're sort of expecting. If the sisters list was thrown up and they went, "Yeah, you know him all day, every day," that's sort of what you do expect. It's when the sister player pulls something out their bum and goes, "Oh, you got 15." That hurts the team. Because you need 4 20s and then at least 6 points out of your other 5 players. And you go, that doesn't sound too hard until you're one of those players that's being matched, you know, into something that you're not going to like.
Mate, no, you're not going to like it at all.
So,
Yeah.
for the chat, do you want me to check up on any games that are currently going from other teams?
Well, what I
Because-
think I said once in the last bit while you were, I might just turn off the scorecard. Let's just do that for the moment. So what we might do is end the stream, and we might jump on over to. We'll do a bit of a Facebook Live one, so I can do a bit of a walk around. We can actually then show you some of the tables as well, see how people are going. So yes, make sure you head over to. I'll put the link. in the
Cabal,
chat.
we'll give you an
How
update
is
on
the
the
one
custodes
custodes player going?
for. Head over to Facebook and we'll tell you there.
Yeah, we'll do a hunt and we'll do a hunt and gather for you guys. Thanks again for joining us, and we will be back at. Let me just double check. We're doing half-hour lunch, right? Still, so that's 12:45. I think the plan is 12:45. Keep your eyes on. We'll post it up on Facebook. If you haven't hit follow on the Twitch channel, hit follow so when we go live, it'll notify you that we've gone live. But yeah, we'll be back up in about an hour, just under an hour.
Done deal.
All right. Peace.
Peace.